Good afternoon, everyone. It is gold time once again, and we're already at round 5 of the World Championship. And we have gone across the. Is it Atlantic Ocean? It is the Atlantic Ocean, I think. Hang on, let me get up my atlas. But yes, we're across the ocean, we're across the big lake, the big sea. We're here in North America for the Canadian Grand Prix. The circuit Gilles Villeneuve had for round number 5, as I've already mentioned. But there we go. Yes, I love this circuit. It's a classic, isn't it? I think it was 1981 was the first time it was hosted at F1 Grand Prix, or was it 1980? I can't remember now, but I'm sure it was 1981, and I'm sure it was Gilles Villeneuve actually won the opening race around here as well. There's been some historic memories around the around Gilles Villeneuve circuit as well. One of them is where Nigel Mansell was celebrating down at the hairpin of turn 11, I think it was, or 12. I don't think he turned his engine off, did he? Which is a bit silly. If it was that was back in 1991. Oh goodness me, when I was a young little man. Also, the other one, 1995, where Gilles, no, wasn't it? Where Jean de Lacy won is one and only Grand Prix, believe it or not. There, because Jean de Lacy was a hero from the Ferrari, wasn't he? He was also driving the famous number 27 Scuderia Scarlet Ferrari, and he won incredibly, didn't he? What other races have we had around here? 97, unfortunately, it's quite a sad one. 97 is really. Coulthard was looking very strong, wasn't he? But I think he had some issues in the pit stop, which dropped him down to 7th, unfortunately. I am a big old David Coulthard fan, so that really hurt me. Olivier Panis, who was having a cracking year that year. I think it was round 7, the Canada was that season. He was magnificent. I think he was third in the World Championship. Olivier Panis was in the Prost Mugen Honda. Unfortunately, broke both his legs, didn't he? At turn 6 was just the same place as where Brendan Hartley and Lance Stroll had to come together a couple of seasons ago, which is a bit unfortunate, wasn't it? Also, 1990, I think it was the first ever Grand Prix which finished under a safety car. I think we had 4 safety cars in total, didn't we? And we also had 4 world champions to go into. Oh no, it was 3 world champions, was it? It was Michael Schumacher, who was in the Grand Prix, went into the world champions. Damon Hill also went into the world champions as well, and Jacques Villeneuve did, didn't he? Goodness me, to complete the trio. Jenson Button has been the world champion as well back in 2005. I love this circuit. I can keep going on forever and a day and just talk about my favourite Canadian Grand Prix. And I'm sure that one of them I've missed out, but I'd like to hear your favourite Canadian Grand Prix experiences as well. I'll get to the comments in a minute, but before I do so, a lot of the ALR drivers tonight will be wearing a special blue helmet for one of the drivers tonight. And so. Of course, there's for Milan then. So yeah, of course, so a lot of drivers then will be wearing the blue helmets then for Milan, who's had some really bad news over the last couple of days or so. So yeah, I'm expecting to see a lot of blue in the not only in the sea there, but also on the top of the driver's set as well. And of course, there's Milan now, who has been part of ALR for quite a long period of time now, hasn't he? Oh my gosh, that's a lot of rain. But anyway, but we'll go back to that in a minute. But yeah, so I've expect a lot of blue helmets tonight then for Milan, and yeah, so he's had some pretty bad news. I don't want to go into too much details on that, but everyone in ALR, I hope that Milan knows that everyone in ALR is supporting him in his bad time, and hats off to him for racing tonight as well. Because yeah, people may say it's only a game and all that kind of jazz. Well, yeah, I suppose it is only a game, but it's hard to drive. It's hard to drive on this game at the best of times, and when you're just on a bit of turmoil, yeah, it can be very difficult indeed, can it? Unfortunately, not as bad. Whatever happens tonight, Milan, you're not going to. The Grand Prix you're going to have today is be a lot better than the Grand Prix I had in PBE on Thursday. So less said about that, the better. As I was doing my best Beyblade impression on Austria, so that was pretty brutal to say the least. So it's going to be as brutal as these weather conditions as well, aren't they? I'll get your comments in there in a minute, my fine people. But before we do so, let's go through the drivers and the constructors, shall we? Because I did want to talk about Milan and everyone wearing blue helmets, because that is the most important bit of thing I'm going to be saying tonight. So yeah, I hope Milan, I hope at the end of the day, of course, The most important thing is that Milan knows that we are all supporting him. Yes, it's a crazy game, isn't it? We just all come together kind of thing, isn't it? And some people say it's just a game, but it brings, like, I don't know how many drivers we've got in ALR now. I think it's I'm sure the last time I looked, it's over 100 odd people that are in the server now. Fantastic, isn't it? So yeah, wishing you all the best, Milan. Right then, 2 minutes into this qualifying session, we've got McLaren, who's quite boldly going where no driver has gone before so far, and that is out onto the circle in the very wet conditions. In the driver's standings, it is German who leads the World Championship now after him and Emerson came to blow in their very own Verstappen Hamilton-esque debacle back in Baku a week ago. Looking very fine, isn't it? Emerson has not won a Grand Prix yet, has it? But it's not his worst start in his ALR career in in a season thus far. That was back in season 5, I think it was, or season 4. And I think he didn't win the first 5 or 6 races, if I'm not very much mistaken. Actually, I think it might have been 8. P's in at third position now, 14 points adrift from Emerson at the moment. Murphy in 4th. 5th position is Liam Yeh, who's not here tonight. Liam Yeh scoring every single race thus far, Liam has, but unfortunately he's not here tonight. Tango in 6th position. Danger Times has not scored since that incredible Grand Prix win back in Bahrain earlier on then. Then we have got Mr. Elite in 8th position. Infamous Pillars in 9th. 10th position is Milan at the moment. Now, German is retired from the session, and I wasn't expecting that. And oh dear, as Welshman would say, oh my navy blue. But of course, I think I should be expecting that because I think that German has got a qualifying balance. We've got a lot of qualifying balance at Farfus dished out. Oh no, Mr. Elite is in the wall. Oh dear, he's done a Kimi Räikkönen there, and he has spun off and into the barrier there. Hopefully he can get himself sorted, and hopefully hasn't damaged the car. A lovely pirouette there from Mr. Elite. Absolutely fine stuff. So far, we've got 2 drivers trying to score a point. That's William and Cowie, who's just joined the session, if I could just see there. And also we have got Lost Souls is now -5 points. You get -5 points there for calling it a day early. Of course, there is 2. Of course, we do not want any drivers there to retire unnecessarily because it just doesn't answer the show very well, does it? My humble opinion. And the admin's humble opinion as well, actually, because they're the one that brought in the rule. Good stuff. In the Constructors' Championship, McLaren lead the way then, 81 points in front of, 81 points then, 59 points for the Ferrari team, 22 points then behind the McLaren. Mercedes are in third position with Williams in 4th. 5th is Haas with Alfa Romeo 6th. Red Bull is in 7th position. 8th position. So then 8th position is Alpine, 9th position is Aston Martin, 10th position is the AlphaTauri. Sorry about that, I got distracted. So an AlphaTauri are only the 2nd team in ALR history to be in the minus points, and Haas was in the minus points in COBALT, and unfortunately they didn't get out of the minus points. I do expect, as Mr. Elite is taking too much curve and he's in the wall, this is a precarious situation here for all the drivers out there. We haven't even touched on the weather yet, have I? Just said it's a sprinkle in the rain. It's more than a sprinkle in the rain, so we've got standing water all over the show. Nigel's gone faster, unbeknownst to me then, because I've been focusing my attention on the Alpine driver of Mr. Elite. And here comes Nigel then, who's dropped his traditional helmet colours here tonight. Remember, he made his debut back in ALR, back in season 1 of Canada, didn't he? There, of course, I think he went on to win that Grand Prix as well. One of his 7 Grand Prix wins in ALR. Of course, he's the first ever ALR World Champion as well, back in season 1, wasn't it, where he clinched it? Well, a race to go in Abu Dhabi. Wow, goodness me. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? William now out on circuit as well. And anyway, I've gone for the constructors, I think I have. So yeah, AlphaTauri, I do expect them to be in the to get some points on the board before the end of this season. I have no doubts about that. Then, but yes, unfortunately, they both had minus points, didn't they? After the results last time. Then we'll talk about the parish notices in just a few moments. Tango's gone fastest at the moment, and just like I say that, William there has put me in my place there. He has gone fastest now. William there, look at that rain. It's absolute deluge. It's a deluge out there, isn't it? Oh. And I forgot to pack my wellies. This is not going to be too good at all. Remember back in Canada season 2, we had a brilliant qualifying session. I'm sorry, brilliant race, didn't we? Where it was Emerson against Knowlesy in the battle in conditions similar to this, and they was on the intermediate tyres, weren't they? And Knowlesy was hunting down Emerson. If that race was another couple of laps or so, I think that Knowlesy would have won his that Grand Prix. And in my opinion, then Pease is out on circuit as well at the moment. And we got Slothfed, who's invalidated his time. Milan then, who's on that circuit as well. He's on the back straight. We've got Infamous Pillars, who's invalidated his time. Danger Time is also on the track as well. We're going to stick with Milan then, and let me go through the comments, shall we? Because I'm already perspiring. Not as wet as what the track is. Look at that, that's a double lockout there from Milan. How did he slow the car down? It's beyond me. Wow, impressive 17th there. We've got a car in front of us there, but Milan there not following the racing line there because he's short, because there's a short route straight to the finish line. Tango's looking in a very fine form, and he's loving these conditions. Well, look at the puddle, look at the standing water off of the racing line there. You've got to be in the racing line, otherwise you're just going to aquaplane into the scene of the accident there, and that's not what you want, is it? Absolutely appalling conditions out there. Williams now gone fast as in the Williams car. Remember, he hasn't got no points at this stage of proceedings. I do not know the weather conditions just yet because I haven't had a peek at the comments. Car 46, I think he changed his number last week, didn't he? But yes, he's now driving car 46 instead of car 2. Emerson is out of these. I also got a new helmet. I've got an also on my tongue, which is annoying. Dynamo Dan is in at 9th position, and then Cowie, who is just accelerating away. We've got Sloth, who's in front at his time. We've got Cartboy down the bottom of the course as well. We've got Troy, who's on the lap as well, and we've got Infamous Pillar. Lovely shot here. I think this is a shot there from the front of the car, the front of the monocoque there. Pillars are coming down into the hairpin then, into the hairpin as well. Of course, thinking the similar conditions to this back in I can't remember what year it was, but remember it was pouring down with rain, wasn't it, when in the practice sessions, and Mercedes sent the cars out, and I think Hamilton crashed, didn't he, down there? I can't remember what year it was. Someone has just jumped up a lot of places there. I didn't see who that was there, which is annoying to me. It's Cartboy, I think it is, as now Pillars out. Sorry, there's too many P's in here, isn't there? We have got P's going up in the 5th position there, Pillars going up in the 3rd position in the Alfa Romeo. Good stuff. Well, something like that, Dynamo Dan's advantage time, so he's going to have another bite of the chair as well. Who hasn't set a time just yet? Sloth hasn't. Troy hasn't either. Noah's Mr. Elite that is. We see Mr. Elite doing a lovely pirouette earlier on the qualifying session. 9 minutes to go then. Let's go for the comments, shall we? There is Sloth now. I've had a bit of chicken tonight, and so I am absolutely loving life out here. Right now, I was just picking up my phone to have a quick gander at what you guys are saying out there, and just like I said, I think Pease has had a trip into the wall. I think did an Alonso crash there one year in 2008, wasn't it? In his Renault, return to Renault? I think it was, wasn't it? After his very precarious year in the McLaren of 2007 there. Pease there going over the tarmac. It used to be a grass there until they got rid of it, didn't they? Which is very unfortunate at Sydney's. We got Knowlesy saying, let's go gold then. William saying, good evening. Sean Emma saying, good evening. Let's all make it a good one tonight then. We've got Dylan saying, good evening. Of course, there is, and if you Arsenal fans may know that expression quite well. Dynamo Dan is facing the wrong way. He's done something similar to what Mr. Elite did earlier on in the qualifying session, but it is a very a 10 out of 10 for recovery there. Good stuff indeed there for Dynamo Dan. Chances doesn't come out of the pitch, has he? Don't think he likes to get his hair wet, does he? But luckily he'll have a helmet on when he gets out there. But at the moment, Chances is not feeling the need to go out there at the moment, is he? Yellow flag as we come over the start-finish straight as well. It's not uncommon to see yellow flags over the start-finish straight. Sloth is the slowest of the time runners thus far. Siege is just appearing onto the circuit as well. I think this is Siege's first ever race in ALR Gold. I stand corrected, this is his second race in ALR Gold as he made his debut last week. Troy is in 9th fast in the second Ferrari. Good stuff indeed there for Troy. We've got a Haas car of Milan facing the wrong way here. He needs to be careful. He doesn't want to get disqualified. And remember, that was also the place where Fernando Alonso's perfect 2005 season came to an abrupt end, didn't he? He clouted that barrier and unfortunately damaged the suspension, didn't he? As Milan there is just trying to keep out of everyone's way. It's a very precarious area, isn't it? This part of the circle is Milan just doing a very gentlemanly thing there of getting out of the way. Back on board, Sloth and he's a 10th and second down, the second split time. He's going to have to find an abundance amount of time at the moment, isn't he? Young Knight saying, good evening, everyone. Hey, lads, and Nigel saying blue tonight to support Milan family. Let's hope it goes well then. As Young Knight also saying, good luck at gold then. William saying 2008 is the best, of course, then. Yes, of course, I completely missed that one out. I apologise, guys. Yeah, 2008, the Canadian Grand Prix. That was Robert Kubica's one and only F1 Grand Prix win. And believe it or not, then, I think that was BMW Sauber's one and only Grand Prix winner. Souls there is swap tens there, and somehow he's kept out the wall there. Lucas Percy's had to take evasive action there as Souls then a lovely spin around then, and a lovely spinner Rooney as well. And on Eagles. Right, Dynamo Dan then going for another bite of the cherry as well. I think it's getting heavier out there, isn't it? It's not getting lighter at all, is it? It's appalling weather conditions out here at the moment. They're absolutely deluging down. Dynamo Dan has set a time then of 22. He's the slowest of the time runners thus far. The pits come Siege and Percy as well. Chazza still in the pits at the moment then. So yes, time is now going to start to become against them. This is a short track, isn't it? But in these wet weather conditions, then the times are now on to 80 odd seconds or so. Ayrton said, hello, hello, Sean. I hope you had a good weekend. I have indeed. Then, so I went to Zaza's yesterday. I think it's called Zaza's. It's in Bristol. It's like a all-you-can-eat thing where they have like where you can just basically pick what you can eat. It's great. You got Chinese, you got Indian food there. Absolutely exquisite. Of course, I went straight for the burger first because that's because I'm a good old, I love a bit of a burger and chips. I can't really turn that down, but the chips are a bit bland, if you ask me. But there we go. And I went had a bit of curry. And goodness me, let's just say I'm really regretting it today. It's been a pretty brutal old day. Hopefully I can survive the next 2 hours without having to need to visit the lavatory. We've got Siege at the moment then, who's currently in 16th. He hasn't set a time just yet. We've got Dylan saying rain then, as Nosey saying wet, 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 and I don't think he's about to start singing Love Is All Around Him. We've also got Kakarot Goku Evening, or welcome to the Temple of Penalties. Good luck all from Cirrus Mushroom as well. Yes, the penalties around here is absolutely extreme, to say the very least, and it is brutal around here to say the very least. Oh gosh, sorry, I almost leant on my phone there. And we have also got Scooby Stew. Where's the spray, Sean? There's more spray when the tracks are less wet. Yeah, yes, that's a very good point. Where is the spray? That is absolutely appalling. They got sparks on here, but no spray. Oh, well, that's yeah. I wonder if the drivers have got no spray. That's a very good point, Scooby Stew. Obviously, that just shows how much attention I've been paying. The rain. I've been talking about the rain and how horizontal it's going across the screen, but there's no spray at all. Oh my gosh. Yes, I think the driver should have some spray. Dynamo Dan is out of qualifying. Well, he's not out of qualifying just yet, but he's precariously close from being out of qualifying, unfortunately. Lucas Percy is going to make a time as well. Chazza is still in the pits at the moment, and there's Alfa Romeo coming out of the pits as well, as Siege is on another time run, is running on board the Mercedes driver. Continuing on with the comments. Gurman said I got a quality ban, Sean. I got a qualifying ban, Sean, for being that guy. Oh, yes, of course, as Gurman there did take out Emerson, did he? Emerson's got done 7 laps on those tires about it. Emerson, your grass there, equal saying, as Gunnar also saying good evening everyone as well. Great stuff indeed then. Thank you to have your company as well. Thanks for the latest subscribers as well. It's, every time I look on the subscriber list, we've gone up to 373. Normally I'd read them out, but I haven't had no emails about that lately, which is really annoying me, because we do like to welcome our new subscribers, and I hope you're enjoying the action as well. Siege is enjoying the action somewhat at the moment, so he is currently 14th, which means that would be safely through if he can get there. And I've just seen William there, who has had a glancing blow, or more of a glancing blow than he's done. A Kevin Magnussen there. He's crashed into the crashed on the inside of the circuit there, didn't he? Oh gosh, there is we caught the end of that, so that is unfortunate, and he is out of qualifying, unfortunately. William is there, so yeah, so the best he's going to do tonight is 15th. Here comes Percy out of the final turn as well. He hasn't set a time yet. Let's see what he does as he comes across the line, and he goes over the line. Then V goes third fastest. Percy does that. That's a cracking time. Love the helmet, by the way. Absolutely stellar stuff. Sloth is currently not through at the moment now. Sloth is currently on the outside looking in then. Chazza has now emerged out of the pits. Well, of course, we got Dynamo Dan out, Gurman out. We've also got Murphy out as well. We've got Chazza who's just emerged out of the pits then with 2 3/4 minutes to go. We have just lost William, who's gone into the barrier quite heavily. He's just said he hates his life, Ben, and as he's not... and he's not feeling it too much, is he? As just now on board then, and I'm not sure if I've just read that comment right. Is it raining throughout the race as well, if I just heard from the grapevine? Oh, Sloth there almost slided into the barrier. Luckily he has kept it out there. Serious Russian there with the tradition, with the beautiful. Is it a meme now, or is it? I think it's TikTok, isn't it? You can part now, sir. You know, we certainly can. But luckily, the marshals around here are very good, aren't they? Very good to remove the car. Now, Troy Hunter straighten up the steering wheel there. Of course, on the ode, because they've moved that the World Champions back, haven't they? Over recent years, Ed. But I think that otherwise, I think Troy might have been in a bit of trouble there. What about Sloth? He's currently out of qualifying at the moment. Then, as there's the wheel still. Montreal, as he is through to qualify now. William there still through as well. They were just in danger times in a very impressive third position there. Mr. Lee is out on circuit as well. Chazza is just finishing the first intermediate split time as well with a minute and 30 to go in this qualifying session. Now as he accelerates away there. Yeah, the lack of spray is really annoying me now. As Scooby Stew mentioned it. Oh, look at that then. We've got a lock up at the front right tyre there of Chazza as he's just fighting the car. And now coming down into turn number 11 as well, just in a flash of the double world champion. That is Emerson, 2/10 of a second in front of Pillars, who is Chazza's teammate this season, isn't he? As I think Alfa Romeo then, I think I've had a bit of a slow start, we'll say. Pillars has 20 points to his name then. Chazza 15 points, and I was expecting a bit more from the Alfa Romeo team. Having said that though, I do jump the gun quite quickly, don't I? I do jump the gun quite quickly, don't I? There's Serious Mushroom wants that wheel signed by William now. As Chazza goes across the line. He's 17th fastest, Chazza is. That's not enough to get through at the moment. So we're losing 6 drivers in this first qualifying 1 session. As Milan there down in 14th position as well. He's looking precarious as well. Emerson has left possession. That is not good. Therefore, the double world champion and Emerson, who's left possession, he's currently fastest by almost 7/10 of a second. That ain't going to make no odds though if he's out of qualifying because of technical gremlins. Mr. Elite, I think it's done for the day. He's been a bit too greedy on one of the curbs in sector 1, and I think he's out of qualifying with 15 seconds to go. You must start the lap then before the countdown is up. Then you can finish the lap as soon as you start the lap. Look at the rain; it's absolutely appalling, isn't it? I gotta say we're gonna need some oars, aren't we, to get us through this tonight, aren't we? Oh my golly gosh, and I'm gonna have to get me willies out tomorrow, I reckon, because I gotta say we was expecting rain in Canada, wasn't we? But I wasn't expecting a full wet session here tonight. Oh my golly gosh, then. As Chaz then accelerating away then, and on the back straight downs, we're now parallel with the St. Lawrence Seaway, of course, there. And of course, usually in this venue as well, we normally have the traditional RAF race of the F1 teams, don't we? Unfortunately, I don't think we've had a Canadian Grand Prix for almost 2 seasons now. Chaz just couldn't stop the car there, could he? But I think and he's almost spun it down. He almost hit the wheel of William there, and that has really hurt him, I think, now. And Chaz is out of qualifying there. He is down in 17th position, Chaz is there. He is struggling there. So the famous number 27 around here in Canada, well, it's unfortunately the famous number 27 hasn't helped him at all, and he is out of qualifying, chances, and that is a major shock to me. That's a shock to me. That's a shock to the system as well. That's a shock to Fred Vassar, and maybe to Pillars as well, and to Chazza. Both as Chaz is out of the qualifying session. What about Mr. Lee there? Maybe I count my chickens before they hatch a video though, because he did get. I think I'm out of sync, ain't I? Because he did get across the line then, so he is fine. Now let's see if he can get improved time. He's almost half a second up in the second split time. That is in the ballpark of getting through. And now let's see what he can do. And as he accelerates away, look at that then. As there's so much torque on these Formula 1 cars these days, you've got to be very gentle on the old loud pedal, don't you? Before accelerating away and coming up in is Milan now. I think he's just improved to third position. A good 17th there from Milan, who's been on pole position twice so far this season. Out of the final turn then for Mr. Elite. Then Emerson's not back in the session just yet. Mr. Elite, no, straight line, the final sector, and he's through. He is through, but Troy is out of qualifying. Oh, goodness me. And Troy is out of qualifying. And that is a big shock then. So we've gone from one shock to another. There's 5 major names in a row this qualifying session, which makes a very, which is going to make a very doozy of a Grand Prix. My goodness me, Emerson is fast in qualifying one, but that by 8,000 of a second there from Percy. And Milan is not too far adrift either. But that is not the story of the day so far. The story of the day is down at the bottom. And look at this, Murphy out of qualifying then. He's got 100% record for being out of qualifying one. German a qualifying ban. He's down in 19th position now. Dynamo down in 18th position. But listen to these next 2 drivers. 17th position is Chazza out of qualifying. Is Troy out of qualifying as well, the Silver World Champion. And I wonder if he wasn't expecting that. William there, Williams' original time would have been enough to see him through into qualifying too. However, he has binned it. No spare cars in Formula 1 anymore, so he is going to be a spectator like you and I as we go into qualifying 2 here in Montreal. As Nunda saying, this track is so much easier to drive on this game, especially with the new curbs. Yeah, the new curbs have been flattened. The new curbs especially low in turn 6 and 7, I think it is, on the second DRS straight. We may not even see the DRS tonight. It's, I got to say, the weather looks set fair, doesn't it, now, for the remainder of tonight's event. If I had a quick peek at the right Discord, then I think that the weather is very much set fair, isn't it? So 3 DRS zones around here normally in the drive, but I don't think we're going to get much dry running already, as we're now into qualifying 2 then. Both Red Bulls unfortunately out of qualifying, so their garage is now empty, and unfortunately Christian Horner there, well, fortunately they might be enjoying a bit of a glass of bubbly in their hotel room, or wherever they're staying there, or maybe in their motorhomes or something like that. As we are now, as you can see, just like qualifying 1, qualifying 2, not many people are dashing out in this qualifying session, which gives us a good opportunity now to talk about last year's Grand Prix around here. Of course, German got pole position. I think that was his first ever goal pole position, wasn't it? If I'm not very much mistaken, I probably am on that one. But he's first. That's the first one on our list. But Emerson went on to win the Grand Prix. Emerson has won in this Grand Prix. I think he's won 2 times around here, 3 times around here, I should say. So 3 times in 5 races Emerson's won around here. He's going to have to. He's going to really have to. He's going to be working for it tonight now, hasn't he? The other two Grand Prix winners around here. Fisher won here in season 3. Emerson was on pole in that event, and the first, and we already mentioned about Nigel winning the first ever Grand Prix around here as well. Back in at season 1, and remember in season 1 we had a wet qualifying session, and it turned dry, didn't it? Towards the very end, and we had a cracking qualifying now, didn't it? It was very much like the European Grand Prix, if anyone remembers that, where it was. Whereas last driver across the line that was able to, that got pole position that day, which was Fred said. On that day in LR, was of course one of the original founders of LR, which was Eva Hunter. So he got pole position. I think that was his one and only pole position, or did he have 2? I think he only had 1. We have got Troy saying full tie was through, so Troy is a bit disappointed by that. And Emerson's joined the session again. And Percy is saying, and we are still loading. Oh gosh, and that's not good for Percy. Hopefully he's in now. Yeah, hopefully he's in now, but we do have a car just coming out on circuit. Hopefully this ain't going to be a start. Things come with connection issues and all that kind of stuff. I think we had a connection issue in bronze, didn't we, really? Hats off to Nose there for commentating and setting up the session there, because I struggle to do 2 things at once. If the stream goes wrong, I just grin and bear it, really, because I can't do 2 things at once. On board with Sloth at the moment, 14 cars in this qualifying 2 session, as we've already heard that Emma's gone again there, Serious Rush was saying that. So Emerson has got some major gremlins he needs to sort out before going into the race, and Emerson's not won a Grand Prix so far this season yet. We've only, German's the only driver to win at 2 Grand Prix this season, but he's going to start from near enough the back of the grid, isn't he, later on tonight in the race itself. And so German is coming into this race, and all he's had then is just time trial and a couple of practice runs there for German. So he hasn't got qualifying to really get his eye in, has he? How is that going to play out then? But he has got 2 Grand Prix wins there. Of course, Danger Time won his first Grand Prix of his career back in Bahrain. But unfortunately, since then, there's been a lot of lowlights, hasn't it, in gold for Danger Time. Hopefully, he can get back to where he normally is. And of course, Bayes, the other Grand Prix winner, of course, his one and only appearance in Monaco, where he absolutely dominated, didn't he? From start to finish, almost, didn't he? Soft coming into the front turn. He's going to start off a lap as well before he gets going and across on. Let's go on board, shall we, with Soft as he goes over the grid hatches there into turn 1 and 2. If everyone remembers the 1998 Grand Prix, where Alex Wurz there was doing a barrel roll, wasn't he? I think it was him, Jean de Lacy and Jarno Trulli that I think all came to blows, didn't they? As Wurz decided to take a quick a stroll-like entry into turn 1 across the grass kind of thing. Well, unfortunately, he kind of misjudged it and had a massive barrel roll. Luckily, back then, though, there were spare cars. But unfortunately, I think that Trulli and John Lacey was also involved in the second first quarter incident. So really, that day was pretty appalling there for the Prost and the Sauber mechanics, wasn't it? As both were out then on the second time Vask as well, unfortunately. Back in 1998, but yes, it was a crazy old race, wasn't it, that 98 Grand Prix? My word, though, we've had a lot of interesting starts on here. It's not the longest start for run from the start finish side down into turn one, and not by any stretch of imagination. I think it's almost the shortest of the season, if I'm not very much mistaken. If anyone knows what the shortest is, then maybe throw it to me in the comments then. Of course, Baku, I think, is longer than this one, and that was a short run, wasn't it? Last time out in Baku's the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, we had a lot of safety cars as well. Are we expecting the same again here tonight? I'm personally not, but because Baku is a street track, isn't it? This one is maybe has the characteristics of a street track, but it's certainly not a traditional street circuit. But look at that rain. These clouds are looking like they're not moving anytime soon either. Sloth did go fast then, but Pillars has now gone quicker at this stage of proceedings then. So as again, a lack of spray then, which is really upsetting me, but you can see, look at how gingerly Pillars has to put the loud pedal down. Look at the water coming off of the cockpit of Pillars. And my goodness me, he is going to be soaked through by the end of the session. Absolutely, it's a deluge, isn't it? And the clouds, I should say, are not going anywhere, are they? It's quite a static breeze out there, isn't it? Where of course we need a breeze to move these rain clouds away, but there's nothing. The trees are almost at a standstill. Cardboy was almost into the wall there. Siege has gone into second faster than the Mercedes then, as he is a super sub tonight for Liam, who is not participating in the race then. But Liam, when he does come back then, of course, it's on a good scoring streak at the moment. It's a good 17 then. Emerson 4/10 of a second away from Pillars at the moment. Hopefully he's got his connection issues sorted then, because otherwise that is going to be a tough old race then, isn't it, for the double world champion here tonight in the Ferrari. Cowie has just got 7 fastest. Nigel is in 8 fastest now, as I think we've just had Tango just popping himself on the 3rd fastest in the Haas car as well. Good stuff indeed. A yellow flag in 2 lanes. One of the Alpha Towers is just cruising back to the pits. But it said Pease is invalidated again then, and going down into a turn 13 and 14. Percy has not. Oh, I was going to say he has not invalidated. He has now. Sol's also on a lap then. So just watching Milan then. Of course said when it's rainy conditions out here in any qualifying session, you do something slightly different. And of course you throw as much fuel as you can into the car. Well, not as much fuel as you can into the car, that's a lie. You need to throw a bit more fuel into the car, as much as you like, really, isn't it? Or as little as you like, and just keep going around there, because it's not about the weight. It's not about the weight transfer, or about stopping and starting the fuel when it's a wet session. You still have to do that, but it's not as abundant, is it? Because a wet session is all about the confidence you have in the car, the confidence you have to brake later, the confidence you have. Oh my golly gosh! As Mr. Elite then is as a qualifying. So just now watching Milan. But it's also about the confidence of the get on the loud pedal earlier, and also than everyone else. And it's also about braking distances and all that kind of jazz. Back on board with Milan in the Haas car. Of course, he's 10th in the World Championship, and also Milan is, isn't he? As we're now dropping it down into turn number 1 before accelerating away then. And where does Milan do? Where does Milan go? As he crosses the line, and Milan goes fastest there. Of course, we've already mentioned how good he's been in qualifying, 2 pole positions so far this season, 9 in his whole career. Then, as we got Souls and is now in 4 fastest in the AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri on negative points there, so really AlphaTauri need to get some points on the board, don't they? As they're really at the bottom now. They're the only second time in LR history for a team to be in the negative points area, which is very disappointing, isn't it? Really, Percy invalidated this time on his first attempt there, but unfortunately. On his first attempt, unfortunately, the final hurdle as well in the Wall of Champions chicane now, 13 and 14. But let's see what car 21 can do now as he climbs all over the curves there. As we just heard Nunda, a former ALR driver, of course he was third in the World Championship back in bronze of season 2, saying that it's a lot easier now, isn't it, with the curves quite low. Camera Racer, hello racers, good luck at Gold then. Good evening, Camera Racer. Hope you're having a lovely day. The Camera Racer, a current bronze driver as well. I think he's the second or third highest experienced driver in a bronze, isn't he? In the current crop of field, and possibly of all time as well, actually. I might have to look at my old stats of that later on. We have James saying, who have that massive accidents in the Williams. Was it Cubits? Yes, Cubits. Yes, it was. Sarah saying that was epic there. Scooby Stew also confirming, that horrific incident. Scooby Stew saying, lucky he was not injured in that one. Indeed, then I think I think because I think that he had didn't he only what he did I think all he did was sprain his ankle, didn't he? Which is absolutely incredible. Say Lisa, it feels like that the rain is easing off there, Jerome Boy, please. Yeah, all happened to Kubica is he just sprained his ankle, I think, and he missed the race a week later, didn't he? And of course, this is an interesting fact, isn't it? Because it was a young Sebastian Vettel who made his debut in the 2007 United States Grand Prix. Peter's got a bit too attached to that curb and corner there because he's invalidated his time, unfortunately, there, so he's going to have to go around again. But yes, it was a young Sebastian Vettel who made his debut, didn't he, in the didn't he, in the United States Grand Prix, then he's standing in for Kubica, and only a couple races later, he was then in the Toro Rosso, was they, for the remainder of the season, and Vettel was then, so they say the rest is history, though, Vettel, a four-time World Formula One champion. Tango goes at fifth fast as a yellow flag in sector 3 is one of the Haas cars is I think it's Milano just coming back into the pits as well. Cartboy out on the out on track as well. Cartboy's got a new set of wet tyres on, hasn't he? Cartboy. I wonder if anyone's going to think about going on the intermediates. I would say that that's probably a very big no because look at the standing water out there as well. It's going to be I got to say be a very brave driver there to go out on the wet tyres and I'm sorry on the intermediate tyres at this stage. But I was thinking that the rain was easing off a bit, but having said that, it's that looks like a very wet cockpit, doesn't it? When we're on board the AlphaTauri of Cartboy, then as Cartboy also had in mind. And talking of intermediate tyres, see just thinking about look at that as he's locking up the front the front tyres of his Formula One car. Cartboy was my word, and got to say you do feel like you just do feel like a passenger, don't you? When you're locking up, when you're doing a double lock up like that. One thing a woman would never say, he has a nice house. Goodness gracious me then. Keep your puns coming in, ladies and gentlemen. I do love them. As we just watched Cartboy coming out of the final turn, and it comes across the line, and he improves to 8 fast. And Sloth has done 5 laps on these current crop of tyres then. And let's see what I can do. 3 minutes to go in the session. I wonder if you might come in the pits after following a new set of wet tyres, see if we can go for it. Remember, in the wet weather tyre stakes, then you get 3 sets of wet tyres, 4 sets of intermediate tyres. If it's a very wet weekend or a very wet event, which it could be tonight by the sounds of it, you're going to need every one of those tyres. And so you have to be very clever tonight then to make sure then that you don't overuse those tyres. And otherwise, you could be in a bit of a struggle in the race as well. Remember, as much as qualifying is about grip position, it's quite important grip position is then. I think that it's about the points, isn't it? That's where you get the points is on race day, isn't it? Whether that's right or wrong, we shall not. Well, remains to be seen then. But of course, I think the qualifying should be for it. We're in the race is the main event, isn't it? So that's why you should get the points in the race. But that's just my standing on things. Cartboy then accelerating out the hairpin as well. Yellow flags is when the Ferraris are getting out of the way there. Well, there's only one Ferrari left in this qualifying session. There is that Troy is exited quite early on in this session, which I was quite surprised by. Cartboy then, who is he continuing on it? Look at that, lock it up again then. And my goodness me, then this is it's absolutely incredible how the drivers have so much faith in their abilities, don't they? And Cartboy does have a lot of faith, and he also has a lot of talent as well. That is why he's in 6th position in the AlphaTauri car 34, last season's runner for the World Championship. Great stuff indeed. Cartboy has had a very good start to this season. But it's a long way to go still, isn't it? I think the first 4 races have probably been one of the hardest starts in an ALR season ever in my as a person that really wrestling with the car there in the Aston Martin there. Of course, no Jonathan Cox here. It's not unfortunately the British Italian driver who scored his first points of the season last time out in Baku. So good stuff indeed there for Jonathan. Hopefully he can really march on after a strong performance in Baku. Hopefully we'll be back in the French Grand Prix in a week's time, which is our next venue then, is we return into Europe. But of course, as that Percy goes into a very solid 2nd position, that could be enough to keep him through in qualifying or keep him in this qualifying competition. Well, we're going to have to wait and see, because I have no Mystic Meg, but it does feel quite good on board Nigel then, because we already said that he made his debut here in ALR, didn't he, back in season 1 all those seasons ago. My golly gosh. And of course, since then he has gone on to become a world champion. He's gone on to be a 7-time Grand Prix winner. Nigel has said. Nigel, of course, has also had 66 starts in his career. He's had 3 pole positions, 25 podiums there, and only 13 DNFs in those 66 starts. Absolutely fantastic stuff there for Nigel. A career points tally of 647 points. Pretty impressive stuff there from the world champion. And he comes, as the former world champion, comes across the line. line, and Nigel goes 10 faster. Then what about Emerson? He comes across the line, and he only improves by 10th of a second. Emerson does that. He's still 3/10 of a second away from Milan's ultimate best time in the moment now, which is him leading the way in qualifying 2 at this moment. As Sarah's much saying, it's hard to believe that Emerson's not won a race yet this season. He's been very unfortunate there. As Pillars also, I think Pillars hit him out in Spain, didn't he? And then of course last week there also German has hit him out as well. But unfortunately, that is kind of a Grand Prix race. As Percy there hasn't really set a competitive time now. Unfortunately, that is Grand Prix race there, but German there did he completely misjudged his braking point, didn't he? I love this helmet over from Cowie. That's fantastic. German unfortunately misjudged his breaking point. He was first to admit there. He did apologise. German did, and of course, but unfortunately, he does get a penalty there for costing Emerson, cost Emerson dearly there, because unfortunately Emerson wasn't able to get. He got going, but I think he just got absolutely hit, didn't he? As Cowie there is, I think, at the limit of the Alpine car at the moment now. Qualifying is finished, and Milan is happy in his fast at the moment now. It's a good 17th there. Carboy comes across the line and he has done 3/10 a second up, but unfortunately he has found a shortcut somewhere because he's going to have to, because unfortunately that is a track extension warning now. What about Nigel there? There's a check flag is fallen on my screen now, but Nigel goes up 2/10 a second quicker, and he is now at 9th faster than the McLaren. Good stuff indeed there for Nigel, but I think they still got a bit more time in the older bank than, haven't they? Tango is found at 3/10 of a second in the second split. Good stuff indeed there for the Haas driver, and now car 2 then is the out of the final turn then for Tango. On those very slippery curves, and it comes across the line, and what does Tango do then? Tango goes full fast. That is the time is still not up on my screen. I think I'm about 2 minutes in front of everyone else. So yeah, we so do not worry about the time at the moment then. As David Thompson is yellow flag at the moment, and as Perez has gone at full fast about it. We got an Aston Martin then as well, who's just coming across the line. That was Sloth. What about the and Pillars also starting his lap as well? Run board Pillars. He's found some time in the final section. I think that was his out lap actually for the Pillars. So that is looking quite precarious as well. Danger Times goes, doesn't improve there, does he? But he's got one more shot then. Is that Cowie come through? This Cowie, he is a length fast running. What about the Mercedes of Siege? Siege is also, and he's finished his time then, as his time is up on the board. And unfortunately, Siege is going to be 12th on the grid then, at the maximum, at the most then, unfortunately. So that's unfortunate. Nigel then, who's attacking that final turn quite vigorously there. Lovely stuff deep there for Nigel. Comes across the line, he's 9th fastest there, and he is through at the moment now in the qualifying 2 then. So he is looking strong at the moment now. I think Tango might be on an in-lap here then, but he might be safe in 5th position as well. Tango might be. Is he going to straight to line? Yes, he does. He straight lines, comes into the pit house to slow down to 50 kilometers an hour as he comes in to the paddock club as well. And I think he'll be celebrating quite nicely as well. What about Pillow said? Pillow said, who is 6th fast at the moment. Is he going to be safe as well? As Danger Tom's on 6 lap with wet tyres. Remember that when it's a wet session, or when it is when the session is classed as wet, you do not have to start on the tyres which you take a fast time on in qualifying 2 if you get into the top 10, of course. Then. So yeah, so the drivers do not have to worry about the strategy calls at this moment in time. And can Cowie find any more time in the piggy bank? Then he is about 3/10 of a second off of car boys at time and then. But here is the Alpine driver then, out of the final turn then, and what can he do? Cowie goes 7th fastest, and he was building up that effort, wasn't he? Great stuff indeed there as Pease comes into the pits then. Great stuff there from Cowie. He didn't improve vastly, did he, on this first run? Second run he improved a little bit, but the final run, oh, brilliant stuff indeed, and he has popped himself into 7th fast in qualifying 2. Great stuff. Look at the top 2 once again, less than 1/10 of a second, even in these wet weather conditions there. Really, the wet weather conditions do sometimes spread out the gaps, don't they? But even so, Percy is still very much on the tail of Milano, who's going for his 10th pole position of his career. And at the moment now, he is very much dominating these qualifying sessions. Very unlucky not to win the Grand Prix last time out. Out of qualifying now is is Mr. Elite in 14th position, Sloth in 13th position, Siege in 12th, and 11th is Carboy, who missed out there by less than 1/10 of a second. Nigel has squeezed himself through in the McLaren. Good stuff indeed there for Nigel, along with Danger Times, Lost Souls, Cowie, Pillars, Tango, Pease, Emerson, Percy, and Milan, all through into qualifying 3 then. Next up is the shootout for pole position and for round 5 here in ALR. Right then, and here we go, as we are now into qualifying 3. I'm ready. My screen says it's ready. I'm ready. I hope you're all ready at home as well then. This is going to be a cracker, isn't it? As we already mentioned, then, the former qualifying has been about one man, hasn't it? It's been about Milan then. He's been on pole position twice this season. Is he going to get third time tonight then? And his 10th pole position of his career as well. That's going to be a landmark from Milan, isn't it? He's going to be loving that. But of course, the other pole sitters this season, we have also had Pillars, who's on pole position back in the Spanish Grand Prix. We also had German on pole position in the we also have Blaze on pole position in the Monaco Grand Prix. So PZ, who's just trundling out of the pits by the looks, indeed he is there, and I didn't see the car behind him. I think it's the Aston Martin who's actually in front of PZ. I think it's Percy. It is Percy who's out on circuit as well. I love the helmet there, Percy. Lovely somebody there. A bit of a it's not a hot pink, is it? There, because I think it's too light to be a pink. Maybe it's a salmon pink there for Percy, but it's a cracking helmet design, and I gotta say, I do like Percy's helmet indeed. And I think he's kept that helmet since the Monaco Grand Prix, which is good stuff indeed. 3 drivers out on the circuit at the moment, and that is Pease, that is Percy, and that is Milan as well. 7 drivers still in the pits at the moment, and we've we've already had almost 2 minutes in this qualifying session. There's a lovely shot here of the grandstand there. Hopefully we don't see anyone in the wall in that part of the race as well. Seriously, I should say, misjudged, rammed potato. I think that was just a comment there from German, as of course as him and Emerson. Well, he went to the back of Emerson, didn't he, in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix? But nevertheless, we started a absolutely cracker of a Baku Grand Prix, didn't we? Azerbaijan Grand Prix, absolutely fantastic. Was that the ending there was very much orthodox. Gordo saying hello, good evening, Gordo. Hope you're well. So we've got sparks everywhere. We've still got no spray, which is going to be really infuriating. But here we go then. Percy is now coming in to turn 1 and 2 as well. So Gordo is joining us in the stream then. Hello, Gordo. Of course, a silver driver, isn't he there? He's been on the podium twice in his career in silver, hasn't he? His Percy there is getting very wobbly on the old rear end there, isn't he there? So he's going to have to just be a bit careful on that one. Now they come through turn at 6 as well. Lock it up then. Goodness me, don't you? You got to say, when you're locking up there, you do feel helpless, don't you, going into that turn then? But oh my goodness me, he is all gosh, Aaron Percy has damaged the car, and look at that then, he's into the wall, and that's an expensive repair bill now for the Aston Martin car. A slight slip there, didn't it? And unfortunately, it went from an end plate to a whole front wing there for Percy. That is unfortunate for the Aston Martin driver there, and unfortunately just rang out of grip, didn't he, in that Aston Martin car. And that's unfortunate there. And now then, as we accelerate to the way, then we've got Danger Times also starting us up as well then, but we're going to keep an eye on what Pease can do at the moment there. Pease said, who, to be fair, I think that he had a great race actually in Baku, didn't he? Could he have won the Grand Prix in Baku? I think he could have if he didn't damage his end plate there in the castle section. I think that Pease may have been able to win that Grand Prix, but unfortunately, if spirals backwards, it's a Formula 1. Or F1, I should say. Pease goes faster than on the 19.7, and these are hot times right from the get-go. Nigel just started his lap, so I'm just taking a look to see where Milan is. There's Milan. He's invalidated his time, Milan is, so he's going to have to go for another bite of cherry, Milan is. So we'll see how he gets on then. Percy has made it back to the pits. Goodness me, then lock it up. Oh, my word, they're almost out of control going into the pit lane now, Percy is. But that just shows that time is of the essence there for Percy to come back in and change the nose cone, get some fresh wet tyres on the go, and away he goes. At Emerson's invalidated his time in the Ferrari, isn't he? So Emerson there on the back foot in car 46 at the moment then. So what can he do then? Same with Milan as well. He's also on the back foot as well. He's done another invalidation there. Milan has. He was looking very composed up until this point of qualifying. Danger Times goes faster. My goodness me, Danger Times that's a very good time for Danger Times. He is fastest and he is on pole position there for the Canadian Grand Prix. Lost Souls second at the moment. Lost Souls then unfortunately is on -5 points in the World Championship then, so he needs to get 5 points just to get back on 0 points, doesn't he? So for Lost Souls, and so he's currently second fastest motor. Cowie's just gone third fastest. Pease is coming back into the pits. What about Nigel? Nigel's on the back straight then. Tiger's just finished. It's just started his lap as well. Serious Mushroom is saying, and don't mention the castles, don't mention the castle section there to Pete. Hang on a minute. Oh, that's better. I'm gonna tickle my throat then. Yeah, so Nigel's now got up to 5th fast at the moment, so good stuff indeed there for Nigel. So we're just watching Tango. I think Peter Milan is going for a second by the cherry, indeed he is, and the Aston Martin Percy is coming back out at the garage as well. And now Emerson Hilton, who's now got on a clean pair of heels now, hasn't he? There, so he's not invalidated. So cuts across the line. His second fast motor for Emerson. He's a whisker away from Danger Times, who's the benchmark here at the moment now. Good stuff indeed there. Oh, look at this. Look how close it is. 2 thousandths of a second between himself and Danger Times, though. I say it's close. Wow, Danger Times has really lowered the benchmark now. As he in the Williams car. He is on pole position once again, and so it's another great time there for Danger Times. 6 minutes to go in this qualifying session. It is not over yet, is it? Just Lost Souls didn't improve, and Cowie has very much come to the party late, hasn't he? But it's better late than ever, because he's now in 4th position and improved slightly again there from the Alpine driver. Cowie is looking strong. He hasn't scored any points yet. Cowie hasn't in his 2 Grand Prix he's participating so far. Tango goes second fastest then. Just a whisker off the pole position mode there for Tango, but he is looking strong as well in the Haas car. This is looking great, isn't it? This is absolutely perfect, is it, to what you want to see here in ALR Gold. Look at this. Oh, Milan's invalidated, and he's invalidated again with 5 minutes to go in this session. The pressure is starting to mount on the man who's been on pole position the most so far this season. Well, he's under pressure now, isn't he? On board now with a Percy starting his lap as well. What about Emerson? Emerson is 3/10 second up. That is in the ballpark. That is in the ballpark for pole position. Emerson's not in a pole position so far yet in this World Championship campaign of Season 6. Does he? Oh, he's lost a lot of time, an abundance amount of time in the final sector. He found so much time in the second sector, but the final sector was absolutely appalling there from Emerson. I say appalling, but appalling from his high standards here. Emerson, unfortunately, has lost 2/10 of a second, and that is not good, is it? Lost Souls is 4 seconds down, so I don't think he's going to find an improvement. And Cowie's invalidated this time as well. What about Tango? He is a second down as well, so Tango, I think, is coming in the pits as well. What about Milan? He invalidated this lap as well. I think because he invalidated in the final chicane, and Percy is invalidated as well. Goodness me, there's a lot of invalidation out there. So goodness gracious me then. Search Mushroom records that Milan is going to get into the 18 Z. At the moment, Milan, unfortunately, has not a clean lap just yet, has he? Unfortunately, the man who's had the most pole positions so far this season, he's going to have to work for this one, hasn't he? But he's worked for the other 2, hasn't he? Milan has pulled him out of his back pocket at the very dying emblems of qualifying, and hopefully he can do the same again here tonight. And currently he's down in 9th position, Milan is, as he is now just trundling into the pit lane as well. There's the Haas mechanics ready to receive their man, and there he is. Yellow flag in sector 2 as Lost Souls said, who's just crawling back to the pit set as I'm wondering then if he's made a mistake somewhere there. Emerson is already in the pits, and Tango, I think the Tango is currently on an in lap as well. So I think that we've got a bit of a lull at the moment here in Canada, here in Montreal. And of course, as we already mentioned, we've had 5 Grand Prix around here in ALR over the history that we have had. I think we have had a pole position there for German last season. The season before was Young Lights back in season 4. Season 3 was Emerson, and season 2 was Science Shifting, and season 1 was Hunter. So we've had 5 different pole sitters around here. Are we going to get a 6th then? Well, the only way that's going to be the only way that we're going to have the same pole sitter is if Emerson gets on pole position, because he's the only driver in this current crop of 10 drivers at the moment, or 9 I should say, as Pillar's got qualifying ban, got qualifying free ban to get a pole position then. So yeah, so Emerson then can he be the only driver in ALR history to have 2 pole positions? But look at the rain! Oh my goodness me, it's absolutely pouring from the sky now, and that is an abundance amount of rain. Oh my goodness me. And wow, I think that the rain's got a lot heavier now, hasn't it? I wonder if it's too wet now for the drivers then. But of course, the best way to dry up a circuit is to get 10 ALR F1 drivers out there to really throw the water back into the sky where it came from. And Tango in the first sector, time 400s down then to start him on his journey to maybe get his first ever pole position of his career in ALR for Tango then, which I find quite astonishing really. Then Tango is such a quick driver, isn't he? I would expect him to have a couple of pole positions by now, but let's see what he can do. Second sector is not good enough, unfortunately, for Tango. He's also gone on the outside part of the grass there, which is not going to help him, is it? And he's not going to help him at all then. But let's see the final sector. And of course, we've seen Emerson lose an abundance amount of time in the final sector. There's a lot of time to gain then. Souls is out of qualifying, unfortunately, down in 4th position. position there. Well, I say down the fourth, and that's a good place to start the race. And can he stay there? Maybe he has seen the rain there. Maybe he's seen that this is just not gonna fly anymore with the amount of rain out there, because it's absolutely heaving down now. But what can Tango do? He doesn't improve, though, does he? In the far sector, Milan there is now starting us off as well. Let's see what he can do. Nigel is 54 just second down the first sector time. P's invalidated already, unfortunately. What about Danger Times? And Danger Times was really mastering the waves, wasn't he, earlier on? Nigel in the second sector now, and oh gosh, I've lost my hairband again. Well, I was meant to have my hair cut yesterday, but unfortunately I ran out of time. As Nigel, that second sector is looking far too wet for the F1 drivers now, isn't it? I think that it's far too wet now to improve your times out there. Yellow flag as one of the Mercedes is cruising, P said who's cruising back to the pit set. But Tango is down on the second sector time as well. And we've got Danger Times out there, but I think that it's Pizzo just got out of the way then. So just taking a look and see what Tango can do then. I think that the McLaren and Nigel is actually on a quick lap. He is on a quick lap, but he's 3/10 of a second down on board then with Nigel coming across the line. As Nigel improved, he hasn't. He's 8/10 of a second down. That is quite a distance then. That's quite a lot of time to lose that. What about Tango? He's 7/10 of a second down the second split time. Milan hasn't set a time just yet, and I wonder if this weather has really hurt Tango's aspirations of getting pole position here tonight in this qualifying session. Half minutes to go now. Who is going to be on pole for the Canadian Grand Prix? Then Milan is he's got to take it cautiously. He has taken it cautiously indeed then out of the far turn. And so this is going to be Milan's first lap then on the board. He goes on pole position. My golly gosh, that is amazing there for Milan. And yes, Serious Mushrooms absolutely nailed it there. His colleague from Haas has said he's going to get into the 18th, and by George, he has done it. Wow, incredible. Emerson now is second fastest there, and Emerson can't beat Milan then at the moment, but my word there, that's very close, but no cigar, unfortunately. Percy into third position there with the Aston Martin as well. My goodness me. Wow, what an incredible end to qualify at the moment. Is there anything left? A lovely shot here from the Alpine. There is Cowie there going almost a kiss in the wall there on the outside, but he's carrying on there. Nigel has had 10 for a second up in the second split time as well. Becca saying, what a lap then. It wasn't Milan there. It was all or nothing for Milan there. He pulled it out of his back pocket, and those are on the used wet tires as well, according to the graphic in the top left hand side there. Nigel goes there at 9th fastest. That's it for qualifying. What about Cowie? Cut across the lines. Cowie improved. He has improved to 6th fastest. Lost Souls is down to 7th now. Oh my word. Tango is at the limit of the car and beyond then. Let's see what he can do then as well then into the final couple of corners. Oh, Tango's invalidated his time. I think that's it. It's done and dusted. It's Milan's invalidated as well then. I think all Milan needed was one lap then, and he certainly has done it. He's a one lap specialist. What about Danger Times? They cut across the line. Danger Times is on pole position. Oh my word there. That is absolutely extraordinary. That is amazing. Pease has gone 7th fastest. What about Emerson then? Emerson's 3/10 of a second down the second split time. Has he done anything? No, he hasn't. What about Percy? As Cam Percy must already found 7. He's on pole position, and Percy's on pole position for the Canadian Grand Prix. Oh my word then. We had 3, 4, 5 laps and it was worthy of pole position, but I think it is Percy who is on top spot. He is on top spot. 3/10 of a second there from Percy. Oh my word, that is absolutely extraordinary. He found his groove then. He got pole position there. What an absolutely outstanding lap there. And that is a once in a lifetime lap that is there from Percy. Magnificent stuff. 3/10 of a second in front. Danger Times, who I thought had it at the very end there, but Milan, who I also thought had at the end as well, and Emerson. But it was Percy was the last one to sit down, and he's got it there. Well, I'm absolutely knackered. Incredible stuff there. Absolutely incredible. Well, that was a very wet, what was it, to start us off then here in Canada. Here's not Percy, his first ever pole position of his career. And I got to say, if he's here for a long time in ALR, then that is the first of very many then. He tamed the car here in the wet weather conditions, didn't he? Absolutely amazing stuff. Becca, wow. Serious Mushroom, craziness. And the rain is still here for the race as well. It wasn't shifting in qualifying. It hasn't shifted for the race either. So this is our first wet weather race then here in ALR this season in gold. Oh my goodness me. Look at the puddles as well in the pit lane then. Of course, it's an old school circuit, this one is, isn't it? But 1981 was the first race around here. Or 1980, I can't remember which year it was now. But yes, here next to this St. Lawrence Riverway kind of thing then. Of course, is this one there is a man-made island, isn't it, here in Montreal, just outside downtown Montreal as well, here in Canada. One of the fan favourites is at the Canadian Grand Prix, and it's already been an absolutely great qualifying session. What about the race itself there? Danger Times hasn't scored since the opening race there, and of course Percy, who got a Grand Prix win there in no, he didn't. So Percy's had 2 DNFs and kind of get his first Grand Prix finish in ALR. Oh, sorry, I was reading the wrong column there. You should be very careful then when you're reading your spreadsheet then, whilst reading your spreadsheet whilst leaning back then. I might have to get me out to spec the same result. Everyone is on the wet wear tyres then for the start of the Grand Prix, so no one was interested at all in going on to the intermediate tyres then. As that craziness, Serious Russian, no pit stops, lights flag to flag, Serious Russian was saying there. Oh, goodness me. My engineer on pole position there, Brooksy, is saying, oh no, and he's off there! And oh, goodness me, Percy is off the circuit, just as Brooksy was saying there that Percy had a cracking, was on pole position, and he's dropped near to the back of the field, down into 16th position there. Of course, not in real world of Formula 1 there. If you lose it on the formation lap, as long as you don't drop to the back of the field, you're okay. But I think in ALR, we don't have that rule, do we? But either way, Percy there, we've got another car around then. The weather conditions are absolutely appalling around here at the moment, and absolutely appalling conditions to say the least. Let's go for the grid. So Percy on pole position, albeit he's down in 70th position right now, but do not worry about that. Danger Times said he thought he had it at the very end there, but unfortunately close but no cigar there. He is second row, no Danger Times is there. He hasn't scored since the opening round in Bahrain. Milan has also been around as well. Milan, of course, has had 2 pole positions this season. Unfortunately, has not pole position here tonight then, but can he get that first Grand Prix win for the Haas team? Emerson in 4th position. Hasn't won a Grand Prix yet this season, has he? But he's in 2nd of the World Championship. The man who's in the World Championship is right down in 19th. Tango in 5th position there. Tango had some technical gremlins, didn't he, in Azerbaijan? But so far, so good then. Cowie in 6th position. He hasn't got no points at all, Cowie. I find absolutely incredible. Can he put that wrong right here tonight? 8th position, 7th position is Pease. Then a strong performance for Pease last time out. He got fast up and the fastest up and 2nd position. His first podium of the season. As in the first of many. Lost Souls, and who's now on -5 points in the World Championship. Can he get himself out of that negative zone? Nigel in 9th position there. Nigel on a strong start. It's his third Grand Prix start. Pillars in 10th position there. Can he make his way through the field? Carboy just outside in 11th position. Siege in 12th and Sloth in 13th position. Mr. Elite in 14th. William in 15th. He was looking strong in qualifying until he binned it here. Try in 16th position there. Out of place then, or is he just struggling for pace tonight then? Chaz in 17th position there. Another driver in it. I was surprised to see how qualified. Dynamo down. They're scoring the last 2 Grand Prix. German is the World Championship leader with 6 Grand Prix wins in his career. And Murphy in 20th position. 20 cars around Montreal then. And here we go then for the start of the Grand Prix itself. Tango saying wet, dry, wet then. Oh my goodness me then. And that is what I want to hear. If it's wet, dry, wet then, the lights are not coming on just yet, then we're waiting. Well, go, go, go! And for the Canadian Grand Prix. And they're all getting away very carefully. But it's Danger Times who's got the best launch, and he's taken the lead going into turn 1. Then Danger Times a fantastic start. And wow, what incredible stuff indeed. Tango is in front of Emerson. Emerson's dropped down to 4th position there, with Pease up 1 position as well. Cowie's dropped down. Nigel's down 2 positions. Also sloughed in. Mr. Lee's gone as well. That's Mercedes on the grass, and Pease is on the grass as well. Come back on just in front of Cowie. Cowie has the momentum, but can he find a way around then? It's a very wet indeed out there at the moment, isn't it? Dynamo Dan dropped to the back of the field, then both the Dans, both Red Bulls, both at the back of the field at the moment then. Danger Tom's had the perfect start, and there he is, and he's away at the moment then. So there is the Williams driver then. So we've got Danger Tom's leads, Percy in 2nd position, Milan in 3rd then. Status quo then. We've had a lot of drivers moving up or moving down 1 position then. Biggest moves then is William, who's gone on 3. Troy's gone on 3 as well. They've had an electric start in this Grand Prix. German has found himself up 2 positions already, and here he goes then. So German, good stuff indeed there. There's a bigger gap between German and Mr. Elite then, as Chaz has dropped down 1 position as well in the Alfa Romeo. We've got Mr. Elite moving up a position then. Oh goodness me, he's very close to the back of, to the side of Softman. What is going on up here? Oh my goodness me, it is it's Pillars, it's Souls, and it's Cowie as well. And look at this, and it's Souls almost there. Goodness me then. And look, as Pillars is weaving this way and that way, going on the inside. Not quite then, as Souls said, who's just about Oh my goodness me, just about keeping on the eye. That one completely, look at the gap there, it's half a second already then, as Danger Time said, but I got to say Percy is already reeling in a minute, so Percy has now found his feet, and he had a bit of a difficult start there, didn't he? Percy did, and Pillars all over the back at the moment now of Lost Souls and Cowie then, as he's lost a bit of momentum now, hasn't he there, because look, Cardboy is now all over the back of him as well, as we go down to the second chicane. Milan's got a penalty already then, oh goodness me, as we already mentioned the penalties around here are quite brutal, and that could be the first of many as well, as we're on board now with Pillars then, as he is tackling the second chicane then too, starters are going as well. And before accelerating away, back and saying that those sprayers bugging me. Serious motion, me too. Yeah, it's upsetting me quite profusely, I must say. I was not happy with it qualified. I was hoping to fix it at the racing, but yeah, it's really bothering me at the moment now. Oh goodness gracious me, Serious saying I thought that the West could go the whole race there. As Serious saying 50% I did on the medium tyres on the medium set, but I'm wondering if Scuba Stu was mentioning then that it's meant to dry up halfway through the race and then go back to being wet again. I'm wondering if that's what he meant then, but potentially but that's what my take was then. Also Serious Russian saying then that tomorrow will be wet like driving in the fog, knowing our luck. Yes indeed then. I think I'm hoping that the drivers get the spray then, because otherwise it don't really feel like you're driving in the wet at all, do you? They're setting up fast on the race, but Milan is a quickly eclipsed as the XD's now the fastest driver. Remember, you get a point for pole off for the fastest lap, don't you? William there is quite close to the back of his fellow countryman, the battle for 11th and 12th position there. Nigel dropping out outside the top 10 at the moment then, as let me get the Otara information then, but at the moment no one coming in the pits, and so it's a very clean start here in ALR Gold, as Percy has dropped down the order now, as Cowie's got a penalty as well, so Percy has dropped down the order now, because Milan is now moved up into your second position then, has got the pace then to get after. Look, Danger Tom's already a second and a half clear of the rest of the opposition. Now DRS is not into effect yet, and it may not even be affected in this race, because you do not have DRS and when we're in wet weather conditions as the DRS is at the moment not affected. It's not going to be in effect just yet. And of course, then because you cannot get DRS in the wet weather conditions, then, which is what I was meant to say. But I took very long about saying this because I was reading the comments as well. As infamous Pillars, I say, infamous Pillars that is up in the right position there, throwing it all against the wall there, and all against Souls' car as well. A bit robust there from Pillars, but he has to get the job done. He has got the job done, and he's moved himself up into a position there. Souls down to 9th. I remember that the AlphaTauri cards have not set as goodness speed, and as I thought he was going to chuckle on the inside there. Souls was we're on board with him again as Danger Time set the fast lap of the race then. So then as Danger Time said, is trying to pull away at the moment, but the gap is come down 2/10 of a second there. Oh, contact there. Lost Souls, contact there. Oh goodness me, contact again there, and barging him out the way. That's very robust there from oh no, and this is not going too well at all, and look at this, and that is scrappy. Oh goodness gracious me. And as and I think the Cowie's going to be happy with this because it's getting very rude out there, isn't it? Goodness gracious me then. But I think Cowie's going to be happy with this, though, isn't he? Because he hasn't, because he's just pulling away at the moment. So infamous Pillars is having a couple of issues there, isn't he? As we're just watching William again then, who is, Nigel and William as well, on a cracking battle here, aren't they? We're on board then as we got a bit of a queue forming now behind. Lovely shot here from the rear of the fuse of Lost Souls, and there's his teammate in the background here. Souls got 3-second penalty. Cowie, Tango, and Milan now got 3-second got penalties so far. That's the most penalties so far out there. Goodness gracious me then. Scuba Shoe saying you should never mention the spray. To be honest, I didn't even spot it at first. So yeah, Scuba Shoe's fault. Absolutely disgraceful scenes, isn't there? The gap at the front is still 1.5 seconds. No retirement so far. These are the most difficult conditions that these races are going to face then, and no retirements. And good stuff indeed there from the gold driver's side. And it's gold standard. Unfortunately, Pease has got a 3-second penalty. But I think that we're going to have a lot of penalties. Gerben then, the championship leader, has now moved himself up into 16th position, getting past Mr. Lee, and away he goes. Oh, Mr. Lee there is just going across the curbs there, and he's lost 2 positions. That exchange there for Mr. Lee, dropping down to 18th position. Dynamo Dan is in the back of the one, struggling to keep up with the action at the moment. There's Cardboy, who's good as Nigel's telling Cardboy to get a move on there as he was coming out of turn number 2. Back on board with back on board at the moment. With Nigel at the moment. Oh my goodness me! I can't even see. I'm gonna have to get someone to stop the sweat going to my eyes. We have got William there, who is now on 12th position. I've just let me quickly catch up with the comments, shall we then? But oh, what's that? Souls is off the circuit now, and he's damaged the car. Cowie's got 3-second penalty. That's the whole wing section gone for the AlphaTauri driver, and he's dropped right to the back of the field then. Lost Souls. A safety car. It's a safety car. I was just about to read Knowles' comment now, as it was it's the best start to ALR this season, and in full wet conditions as well. Awesome stuff, Gold. It was indeed. There was of course, we did have a bit of argy-bargy, a bit of elbows out between Pillars and Lost Souls, didn't we? Well, I enjoyed it. So what's going to happen here then? Because I don't think coming in the pits is a good idea, personally, because you're kind of in, I don't think you're going to get anywhere if it coming into the pits just yet, are you? Why? Because the tyres are probably all fine and dandy. And seriously to say, but we wouldn't have noticed if it wasn't for you pesky kids there. That was a lovely Scooby-Doo comment. That was a lovely Scooby-Doo comment there from a serious rush there to Scooby-Doo into the pits. There comes the Alfa Romeo. So intermediate tyres out for Pillars, and this is a rolling of the dice then. And why not? I say, why not? And German's done the same thing. The Championship League's done the same thing as well. Lost Souls is DNF, man, and I feel that's going to be another point of production, I think. As Pillars are coming out of the pits then in an 18th position then. So let's see what these drivers do then, because they're going to have a couple of laps under the safety car, because they've got to clear up the debris, haven't they? For the marshals, got to clear up the front wing debris from Lost Souls. So this is a good opportunity for Pillars and for German to find their tyres, haven't they? And really see if the intermediate tyres are the quickest way to go. As Scooby-Doo saying that when it starts to dry, spray will appear. Goodness me, it probably will, won't it? We've also got Becca saying, coming through! As Sarah saying, Scrapper do. As Becca saying, Jeepers as well. Lovely stuff indeed. We've also got Scooby-Doo saying, has been great driving considering the weather. Yeah, very good stuff indeed, actually. Hats off, because as Nosy and Serious Worship and all the other commenters have said, then it's one of the most difficult conditions in all of ALR to drive in the wet weather around here. They've done a brilliant job. German dropping back slightly because he wants to I think he wants to see how the intermediate tyres do in the in race trim then, and because he's dropped off the back then, he wants to see what is going to be occurring now, and how they're going to do in race trim then. Safety car staying out for the minute then is, oh no, and Chaza and Mr. Elite have got a 5-second penalty, which is into the pits. There comes Mr. Elite then, and goodness me then, so into the pits, and safety car at the moment, and we've taken a look to see what German was doing on those intermediate tyres, and Alpine are waiting. William has got a 5-second penalty as well. That's a whole win gone for the Alpine car. That was a hell of a smash then. Still wet tyres then for the Alpine, the former Renault team then. Of course, remember Mr. Lee was a part of that Renault winning combination back in season 4 then, of course, with Emerson alongside him as well. So he returns back to his roots technically, albeit it's a new name above the door. It comes out of the pits now then. Does Mr. Lee? Let's just take a look at the penalties then. Chaz has got 10 seconds of penalties. My word, there. 10 seconds for William as well. 6 seconds for Cowie, who's had 3 2-second penalties by the looks of things. So that is the penalty update. Just on board then. This pit entry is stupid then. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not really sure where else you could pull it, to be honest, can you? Unless you might have to go out to sea kind of thing then. But yeah, it's a bit of a difficult pit entry. The pit exit, remember, up until, was it 2003 when they amended that pit exit? I can't remember, something around that year, wasn't it? Because up until then, the pit exit used to feed out right just before turn 1. And of course, Frentzen and Schumacher came to blows quite heavily there in '98. Schumacher came out unscathed. Unfortunately, Frentzen had a big old smash into the tyre wall, didn't he? Before giving Schumacher a piece of his mind now as he flipped the bird. So the intermediate tyres of Pillars and German, is that going to be a masterstroke, or is that not going to be a masterstroke? We're going to have to find out now. But we'll leave that for the drivers then to see how they go. Sorry, I keep getting like a frog stuck in me throat kind of thing. Oh, it's that Danger Tom's gone. I think he has gone, you know. He has gone. Oh no! And we got all kinds of shenanigans going on here. Oh my goodness me! There's debris all over the circuit. And I think it's been Troy's in the wall. I don't think he's in the barrier. Is he? German is coming into the pits. Well, oh gosh, that is an appalling start at the back of the field. And German there is going to be furious with that, isn't he? Troy out of the Grand Prix. free, unfortunately, and that's not good at all. Danger Times leads out. Second is Milan. Third position is Percy. We've got Murphy, who's just got past Chaza and moved up in at 214 position. Chaza dropped down in at 214 fed. As Chaza got damaged out on that Alfa Romeo, I don't think he has he? Because he also has got a 5-second penalty as well for dropping into the for him going to blows under the safety car, as someone else said. On board now with the Alfa Romeo driver. German still stay into the intermediate tires. To me, that tells me that was a golden opportunity there to go onto the wet wear tires again. But to me, that tells me that he is happy with the intermediate tires. Let's see what Pillars can do then. But Pillars is currently a second and a half behind Dolbatan. And we're not sure. We'll see what we're checking their progress at throughout the day. Siege has just got past William and moved up into 10th finish there. William jumped down to 11th. Lovely shot. I love this shot, by the way. Absolutely fantastic. This is a new shot, I think, from Canada. Pillars has got past Mr. Elite then, or has he then, because they're swapping positions there. Oh goodness me, it's a Mr. Elite there, very much fighting with the car there to keep it in the straight and narrow. Be coming down the back straight. 9/10 of a second to go. Remember, no DRS in these wet work conditions. We're on lap 9 here tonight at the Canadian Grand Prix. Still a long way to go in this race. And William is in the pits, so this is an unscheduled stop for the Williams driver. Unless then he's also figured his intermediate tyres as well. Let's take a look. It's still the wet wear tires there as the Williams mechanics go towards it, and they've got a 5-second penalty he's trying to get rid of. He's also changed the nose cone as well, so still wet wear tires there, and that can disperse 80 litres of water per second. That's a wet shot tyre. It's a lovely shot here from the nose cone of Milan, and he is chasing down Danger Times. Danger Times has no penalties at the moment then, so whilst Milan has a 3-second penalty to his cause at this moment of time then. But there is Danger Times. He's only had a Grand Prix win so far and nothing else. He's going for 2 for 2 at the moment, but we still not even reached half distance yet in this race. Cowie then, who is really giving Pease a cause for concern at the moment there. Emerson down in 5th position there, is dropping off slightly, isn't he? So Emerson in 5th position, Pease in 6th, and Cowie's in 7th at the moment there. German is down in 18th position there. He's 7 seconds away from William then. German and Pillars are the only 2 drivers that have gone the intermediate tyres at the moment. So everyone else is still sticking with the wet tyres. So I think that might be the way to go there. It's hammering down there still then, Citroën saying then. I think it is, isn't it? Troy out of the Grand Prix. He was on a miserable qualifying session. Unfortunately, someone up from the end of the safety car as well, which means he's out of the Grand Prix. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened in the safety car because I missed it there, which is not very good. So I'm not really, part of my job there is to try and capture as many things as possible, isn't it? Our onboard Murphy Lanes now. We've made this way from 20th to 12th then in the Red Bull car. He is right underneath the rear wing of Sloth at the moment then. Sloth then, who's just outside the top 10, doing a very solid job at Sloth, isn't he? I think that Becca mentioned in the comments a couple of weeks ago about Sloth being as one driver that's very much improved on this game. I've mentioned quite a lot of times about Vintage and how great he's been this season, honestly. But yeah, you should not fail to mention Sloth's progress as well. Lovely shot here from the nose cone here of the Red Bull, who is just keeping an eye on what Sloth is doing at the moment. We're keeping an eye on what those drivers do as well. We're back with Cartboy and Nigel at the moment now. As the race is starting itself down, and 2 retirements in this Grand Prix. Lost Souls out of the Grand Prix, Troy out of the Grand Prix as well. The rain is still coming down quite heavily here, but having said that looks quite light to me. So I'm wondering then if the strategy is now going to swing the other way, because Pillars has lost 3 seconds now between himself and Mr. Lee. So to me, that tells me that the intermediate tyres cannot disperse the amount of rain that it needs to then. As up the inside there goes Cartboy Nigel then, who is going to go for the old switcheroo. Is he? Or he's going to try to, but he had a whiff, snap of oversteer there from the McLaren, didn't he? So he had to. So he lost a bit of momentum there. Into the pits there comes that Sloth. And as Citroën say, look how much time German is losing then. German's down 14 seconds down the road, but Sloth is also in the pits as well on the intermediate tyres. Yeah, so the rain has eased up a bit then, but yes, I think that the intermediate tyres is still too early, isn't it? Because we're looking at Sloth, we're looking at Pillars, who is... Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Oh gosh, that came out of nowhere. Oh, like an RKO. But Nigel, who's the intermediate tyres, as Milan's got another 3-second penalty. The intermediate tyres are not lining up the track at the moment, are they? As Pillars there was 3 seconds behind, he's now half a second. But Cartboy. But so at the moment, then we're going to wait and see how that one goes. But yeah, I think that the intermediate tyres are still too early. Then look at there's still standing water on the circuit there, and the intermediate tyres are just getting flooded, aren't they? At the moment, the groove tyres just cannot disperse the water as much as they can Pillars has got a 3-second penalty down in 15th position now, as Nigel's not leaving Carboy alone at the moment, is he? The gap in the front is down to 6/10 of a second, I should say, and as Milan is now really starting to turn up the heat, isn't he, on Danger Times then, and that is the battle for the Grand Prix lead then, going down into the final chicane again, and 18 cars remain then. We got 3 draws on the intermediate tires, and the intermediate tires don't look strong at the moment, do they? We'll keep an eye on how this one plays out. Everyone else on the wet tires at the moment, and the rain now still looks quite heavy out there. I keep changing my mind, to be honest, but it was heavy, and then it felt light, but now it feels heavier again. On board then with Emerson, the double world champion, in a 5th position, 7/10 of a second away from Tango. Is Emerson at this moment in time then. He's, I think at this moment in time, we take the lead in the World Championship. Let me take a quick look, shall we, at the driver standings then. And the answer is no. Of course, he's 11 points back at the moment, so he needs fast lap, and if he gets 5th position fast lap, he'll be level on points with Gurman. But Gurman will still be in the championship because he's got 2 Grand Prix wins on countback. But of course, as William is now in the pits, he's gone intermediate tyres. Well, the bottom 4 drivers are now on the intermediate tyres, and as he's now coming out of the pits, and so let's see what he can do. Mr. Lee has got a 3-second penalty. Yeah, I apologise, Serious Mushroom. There is, I think I've blown Serious Mushroom's ears off with me sneezing antics there. Oh gosh, there, and into the pits there. Look at this, and so all these drivers there, as William's got a 3-second penalty, but this is action time now. So the intermediate tyres on the way to go. Look at taking a look. Yes, it is the intermediate tyres, and everyone is decided to go to the pits on the intermediate tyres. And yes, indeed, Pease stayed out, though Tango stayed out as well. So yeah, rolling the dice for some drivers in the pits, other drivers staying out then. So now this is going to be a lottery, isn't it? And who has got the right strategy? Who has called this one perfectly? Well, we're going to find out now then, but this is going to be a cracker now, isn't it? As yes, I thought the rain eased off slightly then, but I couldn't decide if that was right or not. So we have got, so we just take a look at if other drivers that come into the pit set. We have also got Percy in the pit set, Emerson, Cowie, Pillars is now in his 7th position. Now Pillars got 3-second penalty though for his troubles. Look at that, that is quite that is a visual representation of the difference between the inters and the wet tires, and so the inters are the way to go now then. And yes, indeed then. So every driver is on the inter tires, and Gurman set the fast on the race, and he has found those tires now to his advantage. He gets a bonus point as well, which is what he needs then. Serious Rich saying now this is going to get spiced then up the inside, then goes Milan, and he can't afford too much time behind Nigel. No disrespect to the first world champion available, but Nigel, of course, on the wet tires, they cannot get on the power. Now Percy, he needs to get through quickly as well. Emerson is at a pretty difficult opening lap here, unless he lost all that time then. And unless he lost all that time under the in the pits, I went to the Tango's in the pits, and Pease has carried on then into the pits. There comes Nigel as well, and so Pease is the only driver on the wet tyres. And I'm wondering if Pease is going to try and extend the stint then, and maybe maybe try and have fresher intermediate tyres. Which said Percy set the fast out the race. So Tango's just coming out of the pits now. Tango is still going to be quite a way up the order here. He would have lost a bit of time then for that extra lap on those wet tyres, but I think this is now soft set the fast. But I think that this might be a this might be interesting to see how this one plays out. I think the drivers at the back then who came onto the intermediate tyres are on the likes of Gurman and Co might need to have a safety car or something then in this race then if they want to get back into this one. Back on board then, Murphy's got a 3-second penalty as well for his troubles in top position, as has Pease as well. The gap at the front is 3.3 seconds then, but remember Pease is on wet tyres. Danger Thomas on the intermediate tyres. We have also got Milan on the intermediates as well. Everyone is on the intermediate tyres, and that is the green wall mark tyres, and there they are on the car of Milan. So and Pease is still on the blue walled wet tyres. So I wonder what Pease is doing here. But the rain is stopping almost completely. Look, I'm wondering if Pease is going to think about trying to go straight from the wets to the dry tyres there, because the rain is almost stopped completely. Oh my word, there we are on a major transition here, aren't we, here in Montreal? Let's see how this one plays out, shall we? But the amount of pace, though, as Cow's got a 3-second time penalty, the amount of time that Pease has lost, though, with these wet tyres, though, I don't think it's going to pay off. And remember, Hamilton went from the full wet tyres to the complete dry tyres, didn't he, in the Monaco Grand Prix in 2016-ish. So I think that's what Pease's strategy may be here. However, Monaco and Canada, two completely different kettles of fish. But Danger Tom said, I think this might be one of the easier moves that Danger Tom is going to do in his Grand Prix, in his racing tonight. And there he is, and his P said dropping back, and look, and you see the braking distance as well. And as Milan almost go, I thought he was going to go to the back of P as well. Milan wants to keep the pressure on Danger Tom, doesn't he? So he needs to get by as quickly as possible. As we'll find out, as the commenters of Beck and Search just commented about Pisa's decision here. Listen to the experts, and of course they're both Grand Prix winners and so far. So Becca said controversial for Pisa, from Pisa staying on, and Pisa's now dropped down to third. Search said bad idea, I think, then, as they're going to fall right down the order. So yes, and Sergeant saying he might not have had a choice then, as Pease is definitely staying out, and so I think this is Pease's choice at the moment then. So interesting stuff then for Pease, but let's see how this one plays out. Then we now got Percy, who is on a fantastic Grand Prix. He's never scored points in his airline goal career thus far, but the pace he's had tonight, and he could not only score points, he could get a podium, maybe even a Grand Prix win here. Oh gosh, there is a Percy there, almost. I'll give him the commentator's curse, I think, there. On the inside there, Pease dropping down the order. He's going across the grass. It's not the second time Pease has done that, so I'm not sure. But the FIA might be looking a bit into that, and if Pease keeps shortcutting the first chicane here, as you can see, look how much time he's losing there. It's Emerson now, who is now right underneath the gearbox swallow. The rain has stopped completely now then, so how long is it going to be for the track to dry? Then the track is still quite saturated here, isn't it? Pease wants a one stop less, then, doesn't he? But I feel that the risk isn't going to outweigh the reward here, though, is it? I don't think that's going to be. I don't think that this is going to work out too. Pease an advantage. Emerson on the outside. Pease has gone in deep there. He's gone in deep there. Emerson's going to be squeezed there. Pease gives him just about enough room then, and Emerson now up into fourth position then, with Pease dropping down in the fifth then. Pizzo is, of course, there, trying to use a bit of slipstream now from the Ferrari. Yeah, so start completely now. And so how long are we going to be then before it near a dry track then, as dropping down into the final chicane as well then. Just while watching that C10, so only one driver still out on the wet tyres. And it's just watching Murphy having a look at Nigel, then going onto the inside into the final chicane, and the world champions out to the right hand side of us as well. Murphy on to correct the steering wheel a bit there on his Red Bull car. Danger Times now leads by a second. No penalties for Danger Times there. We've got 2 penalties so far from Milan, and Percy then also got penalties. Well, Emerson's got no penalties. Remember, Emerson's an expert in not getting any penalties and extracting the most out of the car. And let's see if he could do the same again here tonight, because technically he will be in a net third position and on the podium again then for Emerson, who has only been on the podium twice in the first 4 Grand Prix. As Tango's done the old switcheroo, probably the easiest switcheroo he's going to be doing that. No disrespect to Pease, but he's on the wrong tyre at the moment there. The golden rule in Formula 1 is being on the right tyre at the right time. As Pease are making an excursion across the chicane again then, as he is making up his own track configuration here tonight. The golden rule then is being on the right tyre at the right time in Formula 1 is there. Unfortunately, that's not the case for Pease Mona, but I think Pease will be opening the track, will be drying up quickly. It's not at the moment, is it? It's really not at the moment. It's still quite damp out there, and the slick tyres there are not going to be good at this stage of proceedings. Remember that you need to, oh goodness me, remember you need to go quick on the slick tyres to keep the heat, don't you? And the slower you go then, the less the heat will generate on the dry tyres then, and it just makes them go slower and slower. Pease is now into the pits there, and what tyres are going to put on there? I think the only option he's got is surely the no, he isn't. He's going for the dry tyres. Pease is on the intermediate, on the medium compound tyres there, so he has gone straight from the wet tyres to the dry tyres here. I think it's too wet there, because look at how damp that pit lane is here, but he needs to get on it then. He cannot be concerned, can he? He has to get on it straight away. He has to put tyre temperature into those tyres. He now has to be the fastest heat engineer, doesn't he? Making sure those tyres are up to temperature. They're going to be at a scorching hot temperature as they come out of tyre blankets. Williams got a free 5-second penalty then for speeding in the pit lane. So on board now. So look at this, it's a PZ who is defending from Chaz. Chaz on the intermediate tyres, and P's gone to the medium tyres at the moment now. DRS has been, I think P's might have caught it right to perfection here, because the DRS has been enabled here, as P's caught it, I might be speaking absolute nonsense, and Pease knows what he's doing. Oh my goodness me, Pease might have pulled an absolute blinder here. DRS is now enabled then. Wow, incredible stuff here in the Grand Prix. I think he's done it. I think that's an absolute blinder of a call here. Let's see then, it's Pease is now at the bottom of the long straight, then coming into the far chicane into the pits now. What tires is the medium compound tires is drying out so quickly here. It must be humid here in Montreal as he comes out of the pits now. Then Danger Times as Milan also out of the pits as well. Tango as the Haas mechanics are still trying to get back into position as well. Emerson now in third position as well as we got a lot of pit action there. Where is Pease? Where is Pease? I hear us that Pease is coming out of the final turn as well. Is he gonna? I think they unfortunately lost too much time, didn't he, by not coming into the pits then. But that was an incredible pit. That was an incredible Percy's lost a lot of time now. That was an incredible judgment call from Pease. Absolutely incredible stuff indeed. How did he know that? That is absolutely sublime. Soft tires for Cart Boy. Everyone else on the medium tires at the moment. German's now also on the soft tires as well, down in 17th position. He's kind of open for a safety car, I think. As Milan is now 5 tenths of a second away then. So Milan in Danger Times. Danger Times got a Grand Prix win to his career. Milan has never won a Grand Prix in his ALR career thus far. And we're over half distance now in this race set. William has set the fast half of the race set on those hard tires. William is going to the end then, I think, on those hard tires. Those medium tires could be able to get to the end. I don't think they will personally, but there we go then. But I know nothing about strategy then, so really my personal opinion means absolutely nought in this world. As we just got Serious Mushroom and Becca saying wow and wow times 2 then. Yes, a very impressive time indeed then. Milan is now very much all over the back now as the Grand Prix leader. Danger Thompson quite happy in the wet, didn't he? Pease has got past Percy, moved on into 5th position, so here's Pease. He is flying on the medium tires. He has 1 lap more on those medium tires. Look, we got a bit of sunshine as well out there now, as it is really it's an absolutely beautiful day, isn't it, here in Montreal. We've also got Nigel who's gone back past Murphy, as I think that so Nigel's got past Murphy quite nicely indeed then, back at the front then. So look at this, Milan is looking much more confident in the dry than Danger Times is. Danger Times are looking at home, Wesley, in the wet in the wet then. However, it's all dry now. Look at that, we got a lovely bit of sunshine here on the Gilles Villeneuve circuit. German's got a fast race then. That point may be crucial, but Emerson is now leading the World Championship by 4 points, if I'm not very much mistaken. Accelerated away. Danger Times is going to be very much in a major issue as well now, is he, on this back straight then. Infamous Pillars got past Percy. Percy is dropping down as well in the Aston Martin. Milan is taking the lead of the Grand Prix. Milan is there, won a Grand Prix in his LR career. Can he do it here tonight then? And of course he was very unlucky in Baku last week then, but tonight he is looking on it he's looking on it right from the get-go. Great stuff indeed then. Pease is now also looking strong as well. Milan set the fast on the race, and Emerson is about 6 seconds away from the battling duo at the front then. Pease is right underneath the gearbox of Tango, who's in full position. Pillars is back in the is back into the groove as well, as all good for me. Nudge there, who was going oh goodness me, it was was almost going off there. Serious Mushroom thinks that the soft tires will just about make it. So yeah, I think that's a William there. We think that the medium tires should easily make it then. On board with Pease now, who is giving Tango some course concern as well. But this is the Milan! No, he's out of the Grand Prix, and Milan has got off it, and he had control of the Grand Prix, just taken the lead, and he is out of, it's a safety car, and he is out of the Canadian Grand Prix. Milan, oh my word, there, that man just doesn't have no luck at all, does he? Milan does it. He is out of the Grand Prix, he is in the wall, and he has lost his chance of winning his the Grand Prix here in Montreal. There's 2 weeks in a row where I think Milan has had the strongest car, and unfortunately tonight that is not the case now, as he's in the wall, he's out of the race, and that is our third retirement in the Grand Prix. William now is in the pits. This is a golden opportunity now for the likes of Gerwin and William now to get some points there on the board here tonight then. So this is good stuff indeed. Emerson is staying out then into the pits. There comes Danger Times. Anyone else staying? Everyone else is it looks like the only person in the pits here is Danger Times, who's gone onto the medium tires again. Then Danger Times out, so he's going to have a fresh medium compound tires. Into the pits comes Cowie as well. Let's see if that one pays dividends. But Percy's he's damaged the nose cone. That's why he's lost a lot of time now. Percy has that. Now he's coming out of the pits then. And let's see. Let's see what he can do then. But Percy's going to be in an almighty amount of traffic. And Carboy also in the pits as well, also changing for new soft tires as well. Carboy and Chaz are staying out. Down staying out as well. Gurman coming in the pits then. So a lot of pit activity then. So Emerson is stayed out and he now leads the Grand Prix. Emerson has not won a Grand Prix yet this season. He's now in first position. He hasn't been the strongest day, Emerson has it. But once again now it's about having a clear head then. And remember, Emerson's got no penalties either. And that could be a crucial part of this Grand Prix. That could be a very crucial part of this Grand Prix as well then here in Canada here tonight then. Let's take stock as we're on lap 22 out of 35 coming out on soft tyres. So as Emerson leads the Grand Prix, no penalty at the moment for the Ferrari driver, the double world champion ended the hairpin as leads the Grand Prix. Second position is Tango. Third position is Pease at the moment. Now, the penalty situation looks like this. Tango and Pease, 6 seconds. Pillars has 9 seconds of penalty. Danger Times has no penalties. 3 seconds for Siege, Murphy, Nigel, Sloth, and Percy, 6 seconds apiece. Cowie, 12. Mr. Elite, 6 seconds as well. No one, and William has 3 seconds as well. No one else has penalties at this stage of proceedings. Brooks is saying there's Milano was getting bad luck, and as Becca said, I'm actually gutted for him, and that is such a shame, man. It really is indeed. It really is, isn't it, for Milan then? As he is going to be absolutely deflated, isn't he, after this race? Because this season he's only scored 16 points Milan has this season, which is not the amount that he should be getting with the pace that he's got in the game. Then, and that is such a shame. Is that bad luck in Azerbaijan, really, wasn't it? There, because I think the amount of safety cars really robbed Milan then of winning that Grand Prix, unfortunately. Then, but here tonight as well, the weather, I think that in dry conditions, Milan looked quite strong. He looked quite formidable, didn't he? He looked quite formidable, Milan did, didn't he? In the dry then, in that one lap of that dry running, Milan looked absolutely on it, didn't he? Right from the get-go. Even in the wet, he was causing Danger Thompson cause for concern, but unfortunately out of the Grand Prix, and he's the reason that we got a safety car at the moment. And Bert Molander's first appearance of the weekend here tonight in ALR then, and of course said so. Hopefully it'll be his first and last appearance well. And so Emerson leads the Grand Prix. He hasn't, I think he hasn't won a Grand Prix for quite a while. I can't remember the last time he won a Grand Prix, actually. Emerson has. He's been stuck on 30 Grand Prix wins for quite a long time now, hasn't he? So he's going for his 31st Grand Prix win. Emerson is the world champion, and he will be, and at this moment in time, he will be retaking the lead in the world championship, which he lost in Baku last week, didn't he? So it's very good. It's incredible how quickly that this game changes, doesn't it? From week to week, then there's this championship battle. It's going to be a thrilling run right down to the wire, isn't it? So as Roger saying that these penalties are scaring him then. So yes, it's a brutal track as we're going to have a 11 lap set of racing to go then. It's now we're back racing then here. So when is Emerson going to drop the hammer? We're back racing then here in Montreal then. So lap 24 then the Grand Prix then. Cowie's got a 3-second penalty. And then lap 24 then is Gurman's got a 3-second penalty as well down in 16th position then. And going into turn 1 as well. So Tango Sloth is just lost a position then to Percy, who's now in 9th position. Percy had damage on his front wing, didn't he? So now it's the highest star on the soft tires then, but he's got a lot of overtaking to do, hasn't he, Percy, has then, to get himself back into position then. We have got Pillars then, who's had a bit of a nightmare Grand Prix, and now all of a sudden he's down at the back of a podium here. Goodness me, just shows how you can never give up in this game, can you? Pease on an appalling run there out of the chicane, and I think that Pillars there without any DRS out of the inside passes Pease. And away he goes. A lovely shot here from the nose cone of the Mercedes head. Pillars there. What a performance there. He's now been doing third position there. Danger Times is on the outside of Pease. Pease is really struggling, isn't he? Danger Times is the highest driver who came to the pits under that safety car. We got an Alpine and a Sloth side by side then. Cowie, who has not scored a point yet so far this season, will have to score a point here tonight. And good 17 there. Danger Times and right underneath the gearbox for Pease as well. As he's going into the chicane, and is he done it? And a look then. Is that not quite then? Siege there. Goodness me, and Siege there is completely, completely missed the chicane there. And Murphy there, who's now, as a Pease has dropped down the order then, because Danger Times now up in 4th position. There he is, and there's the top 3. As we got, I thought that was 2 Haas's then, but of course there's a Haas and an Alfa Romeo as well then. So Emerson needs to pull out from the DRS then. So good stuff for Emerson. if he can, of course. Back on board, Calvin, he's on that soft tires as well. Chaz has got a 3-second penalty, down in 14th position in the Alfa Romeo. On board with Cowie at the moment, as CJ, who's lost a lot of time, didn't he, after missing the final chicane there, didn't he, unfortunately, which has really cost him quite a bit of track position here. Cowie having a look then, but no doesn't win. Peace got no penalty. Peace got no penalty, and the Peace is in the wall, the same place as Milan. And oh goodness me, and he's off into the wall there. Is it going to be another safety car? Just take a look, see where Burns is primed and ready to go. I don't think it is a safety car again then. So I think that we're okay then. But P's out of the Grand Prix as well then. And that is two very quick drivers, and unfortunately lost out here as Pillars down. And Tango is looking very strong, and Danger Times is on course for second at the moment then in this Grand Prix. Percy is flying now. Percy is flying. We've also got Pillars then, who's on the outside of Tango going into turn one then. He's on the outside, and look at this then. Has he taken the lead? Has he taken second? I mean, he has taken second, but Tango has a bit more momentum there, doesn't he? He has a great slingshot shot there out of turn two, and Tango's got on the inside for turn three. Magnificent racing there. We're missing out for under the trees, and this is great stuff indeed. They're going wheel to turn six, and then Pillars on the outside. Pillars on the outside. He has done it. Magnificent racing there. Great racecraft. I love it. Oh gosh, and that's Percy into the wall, and that's a huge smash there, and that surely has to be a safety car. It is a safety car. Oh my goodness me. Oh my gosh, there, and that was a huge smash there for Percy. He's out of the Grand Prix, and that is such a shame for Percy there, because he has been very quick. They had pole position for the first time in his ALR career, and really he was looking set fair. He damaged the wing, didn't he? I think when we all went onto the dry tyres, and unfortunately he's got a DNF today. What a shame now for Percy as Emerson. What is he going to do then with the double world champion then, with 9 laps to go? He is staying out then, and everyone is staying out by the looks of it. So yes, I think that Nigel though is not staying out. He's going into the pits, so Nigel's the first of the top runners in the pits. Same with Cowie. Everyone's saying a soft dash time then. Indeed it is. And so it used to be called a splash and dash, didn't it, when they had refueling. Cowie coming on the pits. Well, goodness me, I think that was Chazza flying in the pits. Well, Chazza's got nose cone problems there. So what is Gurman doing as well? Gurman coming out just in front of Dynamo Dan then, who's also on soft tyres while Pease is out of the Grand Prix, unfortunately. William also getting another shot as well. So it's good stuff indeed that is out of the pits, because William as well. We still have 15 cars remaining in this Grand Prix. That's quite impressive. On board of Emerson then, and I think that Emerson's really come to the forefront as in the later stages of this Grand Prix in the second half, man. But it's not where it starts, where you finish, isn't it, Aaron? So good stuff indeed that for Emerson. But Pillars, this is exactly what Pillars once said. Now is, but Pillars, remember, does have a 3-second penalty. No, he don't. He has a 9-second penalty. So Emerson there is not going to be, no disrespect to Pillars, but I don't think Emerson is going to be too concerned about Pillars, because he has to overtake him and then get 9 seconds up the road then. The safety car figure will be out for another lap at the very least then. So yes, I think the Pillars is most, because he's got the penalties here, this I think is going to hurt Pillars' chance to get his second Grand Prix win of his career in ALR. Unfortunately, of course, he won his first ever Grand Prix win back in Abu Dhabi at the end of last season. Pillars having a good old fist of things this time around, isn't he? But unfortunately he's only scored twice so far in the opening 4 rounds, hasn't he? So I think he needs to get back on the points board if he wants to be involved in the championship chase in the later stage of the World Championship, of course. So lap 28 then, drivers that have come in and gone to the soft tyres is Nigel, is Cowie, Gurman, as Dynamo Dan, Chazza and William, all on fresh soft tyres now to the end of the race. Cartboy is on old soft tyres, 6-7 laps on those soft tyres there for Cartboy. Medium tyres then is the range at the top of the order there, 9 laps for Emerson, Pillars and Tango. Danger Times is done at 6 laps on his tyres. Is that going to be crucial then to get to the end of this Grand Prix in a strong pace position there? Murphy 9 lap tyres as well with Siege, Sloth and Mr. Elite then. We're on board with Emerson in, who's the Grand Prix leader then. So let's see then. So it's Renault then. So hopefully safety cars in the end of something because everyone's now caught up to the Crocodile. And we're going to have a 7-lap sprint then to the end of this race then. We had no safety cars at all when it was raining and the conditions were difficult. But I've got to say, when it's in the dry then, I feel that you do take much more liberties, don't you? Because you go on the curbs, don't you? You do not go on the curbs when it's raining then because you'll be off in an instant. Unfortunately, the dry, it seems like that is the case as well. Bird Mylander has shut off his lights and the safety car will be the in at the end of this lap there as well. And Emerson there. Wouldn't it be quite fitting there for Emerson to win here in Montreal then, because this is the home of Gilles Villeneuve, isn't it? Gilles Villeneuve, a Ferrari legend as well. Same with Jordan Lacey, a Ferrari legend as well. Of course, so Ferrari is got quite a nice history around here, hasn't it? And so Emerson getting his first Grand Prix win for the Scuderia here in Canada could be quite fitting, couldn't it? But the Scuba Shoe saying there's still a chance of rain then. There is no rain clouds in the sky at the moment as we're now back green here in Montreal then for one more time then. Emerson's had the perfect start and he's found half a second out over the remainder of the field then. So here we go, lap 29 then, 7 laps to go in this race. So we've got a sprint to the finish now. And David Thomas is currently in the net second position then. Murphy then is also going to be in the net podium place as well as Danger Thompson trying to get a pass. So we've got Chaz and William there who's battling away then in the battle for 15th and 14th position there respectively. But you can see then that William there banging Chaz out of the way there. Goodness me, then Albert's out. As a Danger Time said, who is having a look then, but Tanga there is not giving it then. But look at this, and this is what 3-lap younger tires can do for you. Williams got a 3-second penalty. Murphy's also involved as well. We're on board with Murphy, who is oh goodness me, Murphy's been hit into the barrier there. As a Danger Times there is oh goodness me, I'm not sure if Danger Times sitting or whatnot, but that is not good for Murphy as he's got damage to the car now. And that brilliant race of Murphy might be coming to a premature end here. Cowie is on the wrong place there as he's on the outside as we're now going to have Beblem, I think, then for the remainder of this race. And oh goodness me, Nigel almost ran out onto the grass there from Carboy as Carboy is feeling the pressure, feeling the pitch as Danger Times then is very, oh goodness me, that is Carboy almost oh goodness me, again very rude out there, isn't it? Goodness me, Albo's out here in the Canadian Grand Prix, 6 laps to go, the Grand Prix. Oh my word, as I look at this Nigel then who's all over the back of Carboy. He's going down to turn 1 and not quite at the moment then, as Danger Thomas is still behind at Tango as infamous Pillars there is not letting Emerson go. DRS is enabled at the end of this lap then for Pillars, but remember Emerson he needs to gain 9 seconds on Emerson, so at the moment Emerson still has the high ground, doesn't he, at this stage? I'd see just having a look on that Murphy, how much damage has he got? He hasn't got too much damage there, but the front wing, but I say he hasn't got too much damage, but look at the queue formed beyond Murphy there. That is quite clearly he's got damage on the front wing there from the Red Bull driver, and he is now limping home here then. So Murphy is going to be having that sinking feeling, and let's see how his defensive prowess is up to the task here. Oh, what a shame there for Murphy. And he's coming down into the hairpin. As I see who's just giving him a gentle nudge there before accelerating away. And now as we got Carboy who's dropping down the order there, he's had a really poor run out of the hairpin there. And now we've got 2 McLarens of Nigel and Gurman there, as I don't think there's Team Horse in the McLaren team is there, but Nigel's now Gurman's now put 2 night finish and passes his teammate there, Murphy in the pits there, and he is going to be furious of what happened there. Unfortunately go down into the chicane, and so Murphy who's now going on soft tires to the end of the Grand Prix. Let's see what he can do. I wonder if he can get fast up or something there, but Murphy's chances of points that is out the window, unfortunately. And now his Pillars that the DRS has now been enabled then, as we're just taking a look, because Gurman is now past, Mr. Lee then, and moving up, and that's a very unusual place to overtake there. And look at this now, Nigel is also all over the back of Mr. Lee as well. Mr. Lee is probably going to have a sinking feeling similar to Murphy now, isn't he, as he is struggling for pace. And now we've got Cowie who hasn't scored a point just yet, and is this a golden opportunity for Cowie to get his account open here tonight then? And now Nigel then is all over the back then, lap 31 out of 35 then. Of course we're down to the last 5 laps here in this Grand Prix. One incredible Grand Prix as well. We've had all kinds of seasons here in Montreal tonight, haven't we? Gurman's all over the back now of Slough. Is he having a look on the inside? Not quite then, as that short squirt straight is too short. Not for Nigel though. He is up the inside, passes Mr. Lee, and job's a good one then. So great somebody that is Emerson has just lost the lead. Emerson's lost the lead there because Pillars leads, but I don't think Emerson's going to be too concerned because Emerson may not win on track. He doesn't need to win on track tonight, does he? Tango's lost out to Danger Times as well. I think Emerson might be concerned by Danger Times, might be concerned about Danger Times here. Mr. Lee, I think, has just clouted the wall slightly, and look at the cars are all over the show going over the start finish line as we now got Cowie who's gone front then, and where is Mr. Lee? He's on the inside there, as Mr. Lee then has done a lot of lappage, hasn't he, on the medium tires. Where are the and now Danger Times then does have 3-lap younger tyres, doesn't he? As yellow flag is fluttering for someone. German, the championship leader. He's out of Nightmare Grand Prix here tonight, and he's lost the front nose there of the McLaren, and this is a bruiser. This is a major shame there. Oh, so William is out of the Grand Prix. William and Chazler have gone off in a major way on that straight. It's a safety car. It's a safety car then, with just a couple of laps to go here in this race set. Oh my goodness me, then we got 3 safety cars in the second half of the race when it's been dry. No safety cars in the wet. This is absolutely music to us here for Murphy as Chazler and William. Then they was getting very interested in each other, weren't they? Before the after the opening of the first safety car, Pillars are staying out, and so is Emerson as well. Of course, Danger Times is good news for Danger Times, isn't it? Is anyone else going to dive into the pits? I think that there's so little time left, but I don't think it's worth it, is it? But the soft runners are going to be very happy with this, and Gurman in the pits. Of course, Gurman's in the pits because he's damaged his car then. So we haven't got long left in this race. So Bert Milan's out then for the 3rd time here in this Grand Prix. And now let's see. Let's see how this one plays out. 13 cars are left, but German there is replacing those codes. He's going to get out in front of Murphy. I don't think he is, because there's Murphy there. There he is, just underneath as well. So Murphy and German there gets a second bite of the cherry then, but they've only got 3 laps to sort themselves out. I'm hoping the safety car be in the end of this lap then, so we can get back racing. But I don't think that Murphy and German would like that, though, would they? Because they would probably like one more lap there. But yeah, lap 33 out of 35 in this race, and Pillars leads, but he has a 9-second penalty. Emerson is second, but he also has he has no penalties, and nor does Danger Times here. So Danger Times, that could be a danger now for Emerson, and he's going to be looking over his shoulder. Oh, goodness me, then Percy saying, I am stupid then, as he had a humongous crash in safety cars at the end of that on board with Pillars. Pillars that needs something untoward to happen if he wants to win this Grand Prix now, doesn't he? But look at this, he's still got razor sharp focus, hasn't he, in those eyes there from Pillars, but it's going to be difficult there for Pillars to really get anything for this race. We had 9 seconds of penalty. Cowie's got 18 seconds there, so this is a nightmare scenario for Cowie, isn't it? If he wanted points as well, this is going to be a very interesting indeed then, isn't it? So now then, it's that they have bunched each other up. Murphy is right on back on the crocodile, and so is Gurman as well, and so that's good news then, because Gurman and Murphy are going to have hot tyres, and here we go then, one more time hopefully in the Canadian Grand Prix, and Pillars has got a 3-second penalty, and Cowie has got a 21-second penalty now, as we're just looking back at it. Pillars said, I think he's going to struggle to stay in the points at this rate, isn't he? So Pillars said these penalties have really hurted, haven't they? As yes, so we've already heard about the penalty situation. Danger Times knows that he needs to strike with the iron shot, doesn't he? I'm wondering how he's feeling then at this moment in time. And Murphy's got past his teammate, the other Dan, and there's the 2 Dans there, 11th and 12th position there. But remember, Bobby, it's going to be down to penalties, isn't it? And as the Pillars there just pulled out the nose. I think the Pillars there has done a really good job today, but unfortunately that penalty situation there is really going to hurt him, I think. Then Danger Times are looking strong, is he? But is he going to go for it? Is he going to go for the Grand Prix win here, or is he happy with second position today? Remember, because he's got no penalties at all. Then I think that Danger Times is a winner, though, isn't he? Is he going to settle for second? I don't think he is, because he's now all over the back of Emerson as well. Look at this, he's gaining on the double world champion, and he's got no DRS, of course. Is he going to need DRS? And look at this, and he's edging closer here. Is he going to look down? No, he isn't. He's too far back at the moment, and that just shows how difficult it is without DRS then, don't it? The final lap then of the Canadian Grand Prix. Oh no, and that's Mr. Lee who's hit the wall in a huge way there, Mr. Lee then. Oh my word then, Cowie's just lost out to Nigel as well. Danger Times then is still on the gearbox of Emerson as well. Infamous Pillars has just pulled away slightly, hasn't he? So Tango's also in the vicinity as well. There they are then, as oh goodness me, so both Alpines then looks like they're not going to be scoring today, are they? Unfortunately, what a shame then for the Alpine team. And Gurman is back in 8th position as he's got a second, a third chance here tonight then to try and keep Emerson within touch and distance of the oh goodness me, as Murphy is now going this way and that way. Now Carboy is on the is in 9th position now. Murphy make sure to get past there at this moment, but remember, you do know your point, you do know the points, don't you? Not the points, you do know oh my goodness me, and they're so close there, aren't they? And this could be a last lap overtake, is it? Oh my goodness me, and look at this, Danger Times is going for it. He's out, look, Emerson's going to have to defend, he's going to have to defend the inside, he does defend the inside, Danger Times on the outside, Danger Times on the outside, Emerson's on the inside, there's contact, but Emerson somehow repels Danger Times, and Emerson wins his first Grand Prix. Oh, does he? Does he? Oh my goodness me! Emerson just about wins the Canadian Grand Prix by a tenth of a second there from Danger Times in second, Carboy in third, Tango in fourth with Siege in fifth position. Oh my word there, one end then to the Grand Prix. Oh gosh, there, absolutely fantastic stuff in that race. Oh my word. Gurman gets driver of the day then, and I think that he's had a very difficult Grand Prix today. Gurman has, he's lost it in the World Championship, but that last safety car may have helped him there. Absolutely incredible 17. Emerson, that's his first Grand Prix win for the Ferrari, his 31st Grand Prix win for his career. And yes, in it's very nice, isn't it, to have a first Grand Prix win in the here in Canada as well. Gurman also got fast stuff as well in that race, as far as I can tell. Magnificent. Danger Times in second today then, so of course that's his first points finish since the Grand Prix in Bahrain back in season 1. Only the top two didn't get any penalties either, and of course that is absolutely crucial, isn't it? Very good stuff indeed. Then let's take a final look at the classification, shall we, from the Grand Prix here in Canada then. And here it is then. So Emerson, his first Grand Prix win of his Ferrari career, and what a place to win here in Canada as well. Almost a 50-minute Grand Prix tonight, my goodness me. Second position was Danger Times, a 10th for a second away from getting his second Grand Prix win of his career. Carboy in third position there. Brilliant 17th there for Carboy, and that is hopefully it's going to kickstart his very difficult season he's had so far. Tango in fourth position there. Siege in fifth. Sixth position is Sloth with Nigel in seventh position. Eighth position, Gurman with fastest up, and also driver today as well. Almost the full house. Dynamo Dan, third points on the trot there for Dynamo Dan in ninth position. The other Dan of Murphy in 10th position there. Outside the points, and Pillars drop right like a stone in 11th position with Mr. Lee in 12th, and Cowie in 13th position as well. Retirements was Chaza, William, Percy, Pease, Milan, Troy, and Los Sols, unfortunately, all retired from this epic Canadian Grand Prix. And now in the commentary booth, we have two drivers then of Carboy and Emerson there. Emerson, incredible. Your first Grand Prix win in Canada, and I must say, Ferrari have a special history around here. So how does it feel to win your first Grand Prix win for Ferrari in Canada?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Well, I just wanted to say, first of all, obviously, we were all wearing blue helmets tonight for Milan's grandma, I believe it was, who obviously fighting with cancer. So I wanted to give that one to Milan because he's been incredible this season, and he really deserved the win in Baku. And even the win tonight, he was incredible. So just wanted to say that first because I think he deserves it. But yeah, that race was just absolutely hectic. Obviously, the rain. Quali was just really, really fun. I love quali in the rain because you're just constantly trying to find that little bit of extra grip every single lap. Yeah, and it was just really, really fun. And the race, it's just so difficult. It's always been difficult to overtake in the rain on any Formula One game, especially on this one I've found so far. Hence, because, well, I kind of struggled just in general with this game. So, yeah, being behind Tango, I got quite lucky once we went to the intermediates because obviously Milan ahead of me. Tango had to stay out for the extra lap, so I got the undercut on him essentially, and that gained me a position. And then, yeah, I just tried staying out, pitting like you said in the race. You just got a box for what tyres are right for that time, and that's exactly what I did. I got obviously really, really, really close to Danger Times at the end, but it's a really hard corner to overtake on. I don't really feel like I could have left much more room without. Well, going off the track myself and probably getting myself a penalty. So I did what I had to do to kind of get that. Yeah, especially on that last lap. So, yeah. Well,
do you feel like that there's going to be some repercussions then from the final corner between yourself and Danger Times then? Because it seems like you defended yourself there, Emerson.
Well, I could, if I was in his situation, I could kind of see in the heat of the moment that maybe I could have left him a little bit more room, but I don't feel like I could have, from my point of view, if I went any more over to the right, I would have cut the corner, got another warning, that would have led to me getting a penalty. So, yeah, well, I mean, if he wants to report it, obviously it's fair enough and it'll get reviewed, but I don't think personally I could have really done much more to avoid it other than let him through, but it was the last lap, so... yeah, I mean, hindsight's a wonderful thing, I suppose. I mean, he could have maybe backed out of that and then got a really good exit of the last corner because he did have the fresher tyres. I mean, he almost got me with with the mistake that happened in the last corner, proper corner anyway. So yeah, well, it's happened now. I mean, we'll
And
just see what
just
happens, I
talking about
suppose.
the safety cars and things like that, you elected not to come into the pits under the final two safety cars. Was that? I don't think you went into the pits for any safety cars actually. Was that always going to be your plan, or how was you judging that then? Was it just the feel of the moment?
Well, in the wet, like I said, it was really, really hard to overtake, and I didn't have any warnings up to that point. And well, pillars behind me had 9 seconds penalties. Uh, who was the other one who had 6 seconds worth? Tango had 6 seconds worth of penalties. So I knew as long as I could keep them between me, it would have been quite easy to keep it. And even if like, well, Pillars did overtake me because I think he was obviously running a lot lower wings than me, and he had pace over me in general, to be honest. But um, yeah, I wasn't trying to fight it because I knew that he wasn't going to get the 9 seconds in the laps remaining. So I just tried to keep the track position because I knew a lot of people had penalties and it was really, really hard to overtake. So I thought, well, it was kind of my thought throughout the whole race, to be honest, was just keep it clean, not get any penalties. And it's always been like that around Canada because it's such a hard track for track limits and
And
everything.
just one more thing before we let you go is the World Championship. You've now regained the lead in the World Championship. Your first Grand Prix win as well in the first five after the first five races. Then, goodness me, it's looking very strong, isn't it? But how do you feel now being back at the top then because you're now being hunted?
Well, I mean, I feel like it's kind of a bit of luck's gone my way because I don't really feel like I've had a lot of luck this season, especially with the Spain incident, which I probably would have won if that didn't happen. And then obviously in Baku, I was ahead of Gurman when that happened. So, and that was a big deficit because he went on to win the race and I didn't score any points. It was like a 36-point deficit is what I essentially lost. So it kind of feels nice to have the bit of the luck kind of come towards me. Obviously, it's still a long way to go, but yeah, you just got to keep it consistent, I suppose. Because I don't feel like it was been like on the last game where I had a lot of pace over everyone. Where this one, it's more thinking on your feet and just trying to be consistent. I think it's going to be what gets me finishing at the top. Hopefully again,
Really
get
good
that
stuff.
third
Well done, Emerson.
championship.
Hats off to you for your 31st Grand Prix win. Let's come to Cartboy, who was runner-up last season. But unfortunately, Cartboy, you haven't really spoke to me much this season. It's been a bit of a difficult start. But today, you very much kept your head, kept your composure as well, and a very solid third position today.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I'm really happy with the third because I didn't even think I was in the mix towards the end. I knew I had less penalties than some of the guys ahead, but I thought maybe like fifth or sixth. But when I crossed the line to come third, yeah, no,
Talking
I was
about
chuffed with
like
that.
under safety cars and things like that, it was very difficult to keep up. But I asked Emerson about whether he thought about coming in or not. But when with the safety cars with you, did you how what was your way about approaching the safety cars? Did you always have a game plan in mind if the safety car ever came out, or was it just kind of like on a whim?
Yeah, it was more on a whim to be honest. Like when we went to dries, I pit for softs because I was thinking there would be another safety car, but I was kind of gambling on it being a bit later. And so when it came out quite early, I think I'd only done 3 laps. And so then I had to switch for another set of softs. That put me back in the pack. And then, yeah, I managed to kind of hold on to those till
We
the
heard
end.
Emerson talk about how difficult it was to overtake. Then, did you have the same thing, or did you have more of a lower wing, or did you have more of a lower downforce setup to aid yourself in overtaking?
No, honestly, I spent most of the race battling with Nigel. From the start, it was the first lap was just crazy, trying to keep clean. And then I spent the first stint just battling Nigel. And then even when I was going up and down the order, I still seemed to always be around Nigel. So yeah, we had a
And
good fight.
this is the first time you scored since Bahrain. You've had a bit of a difficult last couple of races. Monaco and Azerbaijan, to be fair, is quite a difficult one. But now you've got those races out the way. Then, what are you aiming for the remainder of the season? Then, how far do you think you're going to go? Do you reckon you're going to be able to get into the top three of the title again?
Honestly, this year probably not. I think there are some other quicker guys, and I feel like I've taken a bit of a step back with this game compared to last. Um, I'd say top 8, top 6. I'll be happy with.
Really good stuff. Well done, Cartboy. A fantastic drive today. I think that you was probably my unofficial drive today, actually. Well done for keeping those penalties to an absolute premium. Well done, Terence, as well. His first Grand Prix win, which also means that he now is back in the lead of the World Championship for gold then. Thank you very much for keeping me on my toes tonight as well. Goodness me, we had all 3 seasons, didn't we, of that Grand Prix? Absolutely fabu. Tomorrow night, it is silver. Monday, 7:30 UK time. Monday is not the best day of the week, is it? But, of course, when silver's on, it really gets you in a good